Chapter 1712. Piao Miao, calm down. Xiao Jun, is this the result of your investigation that the virtuous half-emperor was exiled? Is he really going to destroy his own foundation? Qin Xianjie's face turned cold. What's going on? A grand perfection virtuous half-martial emperor can become a virtuous emperor at any time. This is the future of our human race. Are you all crazy to banish him as a traitor? Another old man sitting on a silver chair roared. But no one explained it to me. Xiao Jun's face didn't look too good. This matter involved too many things. If no one explained it to you, why did you exile him in the middle of the night? Can't you wait until dawn? Harmony in the alliance is the most important thing. But let me ask you one thing. What is Xiao Jun's intention? Is he going to destroy the foundation of our human race or what? The old man roared again. Emperor Tang, this matter hasn't been concluded yet. You don't have to be so agitated. There has never been a virtuous half-emperor in history, right? Who can prove it? Xiao Jun said. Then who can prove that he's a traitor? The law enforcement elder called Emperor Tang stood up. Piao Miao, it's your turn to speak. Qin Xianjie said. When he advanced his virtuous body, Lin Piao Miao, was right beside him. Aren't you guys very good at divination? Now you need proof. Are you out of your mind? Lin Piao Miao was furious. Lin Piao Miao, be polite. This is the Human Clan's Council of Elders. Bai Qiuyuan stood up and said. Be polite to you? Since I've decided to withdraw, I won't give you any face. You better not go out. If you go out, I'll kill you. Lin Piao Miao, want to see how strong you are. Lin Piao Miao didn't give Bai Qiuyuan any face. Lin Piao Miao's words had peeled off a layer of skin on everyone's face. Can't we do divination? Let's do it now. Since we've decided to cause trouble today, let's try it. Emperor Tang said. Elder Zhai Xing, you're good at divination. Give it a try. Since Elder Bai needs proof, we'll give him the proof. Once the results are out, we'll have to come to a conclusion about what happened last night. We'll have to see if it was intentional and if it was to destroy our own foundation, Qin Xianjie said to a skinny old man. The old man nodded and looked at Gu Qi. Elder Gu, I'll start to find a connection with him from you. Is that all right? Normally, he should start from Lin Piao Miao to find a way to interact with Night Sorrow. However, Lin Piao Miao was in a fit of anger. This skinny elder Zhai Xing could only be replaced with someone else. Sure. Gu Qi nodded. There were no problems with the divination skills of the human race patriarchs. They were extremely well trained. It only took a moment for the divination to begin. The scene began to change. Pass. Lin Piao Miao said when she saw the image. Look at Chapter B of version 0, J. A divination could be used to divine the present and the past. Some insignificant scenes would be ignored. Night Sorrow had only recently become a virtuous merit half-martial emperor. It had not even been a month, so it was very easy for him to divine the future. There's no blind person here, right? Everyone can see the depth of the virtuous power. Is this the human race's rebellion? Qin Xianjie's ruddy face was no longer red. It was replaced by a cold white color. Xiao Jun, we need an explanation. Emperor Tang spoke. This is my mistake. When I received the report, I only knew that he had connections with the Black Dragons. Therefore, I didn't want any hidden dangers to exist. Therefore, I banished him. As for him being a virtuous merit half-martial emperor, no one reported this. Therefore, I made a mistake in judgment. Xiao Jun's face was ugly. He knew that something had gone wrong. Commander Lin, why didn't anyone mention that he was a virtuous body? Emperor Tang looked at Lin Piao Miao. Because he was afraid that some people would assassinate him. Therefore, he planned to talk about this after meeting the person in charge. However, some people still tried to assassinate him. I arrived shortly after and didn't even make it in time. That's a good move. They didn't even let him sleep. Lin Piaomiao's face was filled with killing intent. Her eyes were fixed on Bai Chuyuan. She knew that Bai Chuyuan was the one who added fuel to the fire. Someone wanted to kill him. Why did they want to kill him instead of bringing him back? Elder Gu, what's the situation? Emperor Tang asked. Because Elder Bai said several times that we would kill him directly. Therefore, he was worried. There's nothing wrong with that. Gu Qi didn't give Bai Chuyuan any face. Elder Ling Shu, you went with them too. What's the situation? A middle-aged man in silver clothes asked. He was also sitting on a silver chair. I'm very disappointed. I was worried that something might go wrong. Therefore, Elder Gu and I were very cautious. We accompanied him until he was sent to the dungeon. We planned to discuss with the enforcement elder today. Knight Sorrow didn't get the chance and neither did I, Elder Ling Shu sighed. Elder Bai, enforcement elder Xiao, do you have anything to say? If not, I will report this matter to the Great Elder and let the Great Elder decide on this matter. In addition, we will also discuss the problem of rescuing him, the man in silver said. He was Lu Qi, the sect elder in charge of discipline in Tianhuang City. People called him Sect Elder 7. I have nothing to say. Xiao Jun said. Commander Lin, please don't say anything about leaving the alliance. The rise and fall of the human race is everyone's responsibility. Even if it's not satisfactory, we'll think of a way to solve it. I'll give you an explanation and justice for Knight Sorrow. Lu Qi looked at Lin Piaomiao and said. That's right. Piaomiao, you're in charge of the Piaomiao Empire. There are also some palace lords under you who are unsatisfactory. However, it doesn't affect the overall situation. Elder 7 will handle it well. Qin Qinjie said. Commander Lin, you abhor evil. I see you as the next enforcement elder. I've told Elder Qin about this. Won't you disappoint us if you leave? Lu Qi looked at Lin Piaomiao. In the 100 Races Alliance, humans occupied most of the elder seats. There were rules in the alliance and there would be people to implement and manage them. The enforcement elder was in charge of the internal discipline. How could he manage the discipline without great combat strength? Therefore, Lu Qi had told Qin Qinjie, who was the closest to Lin Piaomiao. Lin Piaomiao had the ability but lacked experience. Piaomiao has disappointed Elder 7. I won't say anything about leaving. However, I'm not done with him. Lin Piaomiao pointed at Bai Chuyuan and said. Elder Bai, before the Grand Elder's decision is made, you're not allowed to leave Tianhuang City. Otherwise, you'll be executed. Disperse. Commander Lin, follow me to see the Grand Elder. Lu Qi stood up and walked out of the meeting hall. Lin Piaomiao glanced at Bai Chuyuan and left the meeting hall. In the end, the elders left. Xiao Jun took Bai Chuyuan with him. Now that Bai Chuyuan was in trouble, Xiao Jun also had problems. Therefore, he had to give an explanation. He had to wait for the Grand Elder's decision. During this period, he had to watch over Bai Chuyuan. Chapter 1713. Sect Elder Qin, this generation's commander is really troublesome. The great demon king is not letting go of heaven's fate, causing the commander of heaven's fate to only exist in name. He doesn't even dare to show his face. Now, Elder Bai is probably not any better. Lin Piaomiao won't let him go. Emperor Tang said. He's an enemy of the Merit Demi-Emperor and used a secret move against him. He's destined to lose his fortune and be unlucky. What can we do about it? As the old saying goes, don't bully a poor young man. Who are you blaming for being blind? Qin Qinjie's words were filled with anger. It's not a big problem. It's only been half a day. This kid can't have gone far. The Grand Elder has given the order. We'll wait for the tidal period to arrive and go out to look for him. A young man who's not even 200 years old can cultivate to the Emperor realm and even reach the Merit Demi-Emperor realm. This is the future of our human race. This is a good thing. I'm suddenly very happy. Emperor Tang said with a smile. We should send someone to investigate this kid's past and help him choose a suitable path for his development. Oh right, Gu Qi and Ling Shu don't look happy today. They should be admiring Night Sorrow. Let's go and ask them. Emperor Tang stood up and said. After that, Emperor Tang and Qin Xinjie found Elder Ling Shu. In a courtyard, Elder Ling Shu was kicking a medicinal cauldron. What's the matter? Why is Elder Ling Shu so angry? Qin Xinjie asked. Elder Ling Shu greets the two law enforcement sect elders. Elder Ling Shu just feels that it's unfair. Elder Ling Shu said after tidying up his robe. Because of Night Sorrow? Emperor Tang sat down and looked at the medicinal cauldron that was already flattened. Yes. If our Ling Shu clan has such a young man, we'll use the entire clan's strength to nurture him. The human race is big and powerful, so we don't care. It's just that the kid has suffered. Elder Ling Shu said. It seems that Elder Ling Shu knows a lot about Night Sorrow. Can you tell us more about him? Qin Xinjie asked. He's not even 200 years old, but his past is legendary. During this period of time, I've heard a lot about him. He's courageous, fearless, and has battle prowess that far surpasses his cultivation. He's an indomitable spirit, and he's also an imperial blacksmith and imperial alchemist. Such a person was actually sentenced to be a traitor to humanity and banished. Is there any justice in this? If you humans don't want him, give him to my Spirit Tree clan. If anything goes wrong, I'm willing to take his head, said Elder Spirit Tree. Commander Lin Piaomiao can't tolerate sand in her eyes. She appreciates him so much. But Elder Ling Shu, don't think about snatching him away. Do you think the 7th sect elder will give in? Besides, Elder Ling Shu, don't be angry. After a cultivator with the body of merit appears, it's a cleansing phase. It's a cleansing phase for those with inferior moral conduct. There will be endless disputes around him. If he doesn't fall, he'll be enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens. Those who shouldn't exist will be erased. Emperor Tang said. That's true. Since you guys know about it, you naturally won't let him go. When he comes back, I'll take him as my disciple in alchemy. You guys don't have any objections, right? Elder Ling Shu said. That's not a problem. Of course, it depends on him. I'm impressed that Elder Ling Shu can forego racial prejudice and impart your skills. Emperor Tang looked at Elder Ling Shu and said. It can't be helped. You guys haven't seen him refine pills. His technique is so crude that it's unbearable to look at. But with such a crude technique, there's no problem in refining emperor-level pills. I even heard that he's an emperor-level alchemist before becoming an emperor. What kind of talent is that? Elder Ling Shu was a little agitated as he kicked the cauldron again. Don't be agitated. We understand. Emperor Tang quickly waved his hand. I shouldn't talk behind people's backs. But that old bastard Bai Chuyuan deserves to die. Elder Ling Shu roared. The 7th sect elder will handle this matter. I still don't understand. This is the first time Elder Bai and Night Sorrow have met, right? Why are they hostile? Emperor Tang asked, puzzled. Elder Ling Shu knows a little. This matter is related to the Celestial Sect. Bai Chuyuan has a good relationship with the Celestial Sect. Celestial Sect was forced by the Great Demon King to hide, so he has been taking care of the Celestial Sect. This time, Night Sorrow captured a 2-star emperor from the Celestial Sect, the one who captured a member of the Black Dragons to refine pills alive. Night Sorrow abhors evil. He killed the 2-star emperor right in front of the Celestial Sect master. This time, the news reached Bai Chuyuan's ears through the Celestial Sect. This is the cause and effect. Sect elders, do you understand now? Elder Ling Shu said. That bastard is using his position to avenge private grudges. Qin Xinjie cursed. At this moment, Lu Qi brought Lin Piaomiao to the top floor of the central tower. That was where the Grand Elder usually cultivated. After the two of them arrived, an oval-shaped energy door appeared. Lu Qi brought Lin Piaomiao in. After entering, the two of them saw a small world filled with birds and fragrant flowers. In a pavilion, an old man with white hair and beard sat cross-legged on a futon. His aura was very calm, but beside him was a silver spear with a soaring aura. I already know what happened. The old man opened his eyes and pointed at the futon in front of Lu Qi and Lin Piaomiao. Grand Elder, that Bai Qiuyuan should be beheaded. Lu Qi said after sitting down. Behead? Forget it. After all, he has contributed to the human race in the past. Strip him of his elder status and expel him from Tianhuang City. As for law enforcement Elder Shao, this is a mistake. He has a ruthless personality, but he didn't mean to destroy the foundation of the human race. He has already informed me to end his law enforcement term early. The white-haired Grand Elder said. Then I will send someone to bring that Night Sorrow back. Lu Qi said. Don't bring him back. Since he has been exiled, we will follow this ruling. The Grand Elder shook his head. How can we do that? He is the virtuous merit half-emperor. He is the future of the human race. Lu Qi said anxiously. If a jade is not carved, it will not become a treasure. A sword's edge must be sharpened. This is a test for him, a tempering. After this baptism, he will become mature and powerful, said the Great Elder. Square root T new. Z chapter # Section 1 Grand Elder, he is too young. How can he be a match for those winged demon race? This is too risky. Lin Piaomiao said. This is not my decision. When you came an hour ago, my decision was the same as yours. Now, this is the City Lord's order. This is the City Lord's first order in this little era, the Great Elder said as he looked at the receipt of the ticket. The City Lord knows about this? Lu Qi looked at the Grand Elder in surprise. I don't know how the order came. The City Lord is concerned about this matter. You don't have to worry about it. The Grand Elder nodded. Why is there such an arrangement? Lin Piaomiao was puzzled. Chapter 1714. Immortal Potential? Lu Qi stood up, his face full of shock. That's right. So don't ask about this anymore. Come back when he passes the tide of nirvana. The City Lord said that you can contact him. Tell him that when he passes the tide of nirvana, I will personally come out of the city to welcome him. However, from today onwards, the heavenly desolate city will deactivate the anti-star formation and will no longer affect the tide of nirvana. In other words, the tide of nirvana will surround the heavenly desolate city at all times, the Grand Elder said to Lin Piaomiao. Didn't you say that his original body and clone were exiled? Lu Qi looked at Lin Piaomiao. Of his two clones, one is in his own world. Lin Piaomiao asked. She only found out when Datura asked her for information. Two clones? How ruthless. Immortal potential. Since the City Lord has asked about this, I won't interfere anymore. Let's go, Commander Lin. Lu Qi stood up. Commander Lin, let's not find trouble with Bai Qiuyuan for now. Let's wait until Night Sorrow's problem is completely resolved. One more thing, there are members of other races around Night Sorrow. No matter what race they are not allowed to attack. This is also the City Lord's intention. Also, Shao Jun has cancelled his enforcement period. Elder Lu, take over. The Grand Elder said. Lu Qi nodded and left the tower with Lin Piaomiao. Commander Lin, that's all. We'll do as the Grand Elder said. The City Lord hasn't asked about the heavenly desolate city's matters for many years. Now that he has asked, it means that he has made arrangements, Lu Qi said after leaving the tower. All right. Lin Piaomiao nodded. She knew that the only ones who were extreme in the treatment of Night Sorrow were Shao Jun and Bai Qiuyuan. Now that the two of them had dealt with it, they could only wait and see. Also, Leave one of your original body and one of your avatars in Tianhuang City and follow me to deal with the matters of the law enforcement period. After this law enforcement period, I will step down as the commandment elder. I think you are suitable, Lu Qi said. But Misty's experience is still shallow. Lin Piaomiao said. She knew that the person with the highest position in the Council of Elders was the Grand Elder, followed by the Law Enforcing Elder, and the Discipline Elder was in charge of life and death. What's the use of seniority? Being in charge of discipline and dealing with rebels, how can you do without strength? Who would dare to accept the position of Discipline Elder? Lu Qi said. Misty Imperial City, Night Moon Villa. Lin Piaomiao found Datura and told him that she wanted to meet Night Sorrow. Sir Battle Emperor, please wait for a moment. I need to inform Night Sorrow that all cultivators above rank 9 in our domain have to get his permission before they can enter, Datura said. All right. Lin Piaomiao nodded. She didn't blame Datura because she was Lin Piaomiao. She didn't have enough trust in Datura's heart. Datura went to the 9-domain world and found Night Sorrow's clone. He told Night Sorrow that Lin Piaomiao wanted to meet him. Bring her over. There's no problem. Night Sorrow nodded. Datura was stunned because Night Sorrow's trust was a little blind. She didn't know much about Misty Battle Emperor, but since Night Sorrow said it, she didn't ask for the reason. After returning to the Night Moon Villa, he brought Lin Piaomiao to the 9-domain world. Lin Piaomiao and Datura came out of the teleportation array and Night Sorrow was waiting for them outside. Sister Xian is here. Night Sorrow smiled and greeted. Sister Xian, Datura turned around because she didn't see Lin Xian, Ah Luo. Lin Piaomiao took off her veil. Misty Battle Emperor and Sister Xian, are the same person? Datura finally understood, but she was still shocked. She didn't expect Misty Battle Emperor to be their friend, Lin Xian, My name is Lin Piaomiao, but I used to be nicknamed Lin Xian, Lin Xian, smiled and said. That's too shocking. Datura was still shocked. Then let's go to the tea house for tea. Night Sorrow said. He knew that Lin Piaomiao must have brought news. After entering the tea house, Night Sorrow invited Lin Xian, to sit down and made tea. The 9-domain world is really full of vitality. Lin Xian said after feeling it. Yes, it's a new world and it's still developing. Night Sorrow said. Your body and soul are condensed, similar to the original body. Lin Xian, looked at Night Sorrow and said. It's about the same. If something happens to the original body, this doppelganger can be used as the original body. Unfortunately, it has already merged with the heaven ceiling hall behind us, so it can't move around much and can't move around. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Then, Lin Piaomiao told him about what happened in Tianhuang City today, the Grand Elder's decision and the source of the order. Not letting me go back, are they trying to kill me? Looks like I'll have to live in Tianhuang City for a while. Night Sorrow slapped his forehead. Actually, it's not a bad thing for you. Persevering and surviving should be a training experience for you. The city lord of Tianhuang City's arrangement shouldn't be wrong. After so many years, the members of the law enforcement clan have changed, the human clan's elders have fallen and the new ones have changed, but only the city lord hasn't changed. No one knows what level he is at, but he's the pillar of the human clan. In the last war, the human clan alliance was at a disadvantage. The strongest Grand Elder and the disciplined clan elder were at a disadvantage when fighting against the demonic wings emperor. It was the city lord of Tianhuang City who stepped in and defeated the demonic wings emperor. Lin Piaomiao said. Then how did the human clan alliance get heavily injured by the black dragons? Night Sorrow asked. Because after defeating the demonic wings emperor, the city lord of Tianhuang City asked the Grand Elder to clean up the aftermath and go after the demonic wings emperor. That's when the black dragons attacked. The Black Dragon King's cultivation was high and no one in the alliance could stop him. The disciplined clan elder died in the battle. When the seventh elder appeared, he was only an ordinary clan elder, but he managed to stop the Black Dragon King. After the battle, his strength was recognized and he became the law enforcement clan elder. Lin Piaomiao said. Sister Xian knows so much. Datura said. It's okay. Sister Xian and Song Ning both participated in the battle. Sister Xian led Song Ning, Luo Yuandao, Yuan Ji, and Elder Lan. Lin Piaomiao's thoughts drifted. Although a long time had passed, some things were still deep in her memory. I see. Knight Sorrow nodded. I have a set of information and a map for you. Do you see this line? Don't go there, you'll die without a doubt. You can train outside the red line in the area connected to the Nirvana Ocean and raise your cultivation. However, your current strength is far from enough to return to Tianhuang City. According to normal calculations, you'll need to be at least an Emperor realm and above to be able to withstand the Nirvana Black Wind. Otherwise, you'll be annihilated. Lin Xian took out a map and explained to Knight Sorrow. Chapter 17:15. This will take a long time. It's not something that can be done in a short period of time. Knight Sorrow was a little hesitant. Then work hard. The natural environment there is harsh and there are many natural ferocious beasts. It is not suitable for survival, but the cultivation conditions are not bad. The most important thing is that you survive first. Lin Xian explained to Knight Sorrow. This is not difficult. Knight Sorrow, take the space acceleration magic treasure and find a suitable place to lie down and improve your cultivation. Datura said. This is a safe way, but I don't recommend it because it will lose the meaning of training. The city lord of Tianhuang City must have made this arrangement for a reason. Be cautious and improve your cultivation during training. This way, your cultivation will be the most solid and your combat strength will not be weak. In addition, this may also be a chance for you to break through to the virtuous half-martial emperor. The demon-winged clan is the natural enemy of humans and the 100 races. If you go to the demon-winged clan's territory to train, whether you find useful information or kill them, it will be a merit for humans. It will also improve your qualifications to join the Tianhuang City in the future. Lin Xian said. I am not interested in joining the Tianhuang City, but improving my strength is not a conflict. I will stay outside for now. Knight Sorrow nodded. He did not have a good impression of the Tianhuang City because he did not approve of people like Bai Chu Yuan who could become a sect elder of the human race. He was a little repulsed by the title of sect elder of the human race. You don't want to join? Let's talk about it later. Anyway, the most important thing now is to survive and kill the spies of the demon-winged clan if you encounter them. If you have any problems, feel free to contact me. In fact, this is the same as what I originally expected, but there are some deviations. Lin Xian was stunned when she heard that Knight Sorrow was not willing to join the Tianhuang City. I don't understand what Sister Xian means. Datura said. Looking at Knight Sorrow and Datura's puzzled eyes, Lin Xian explained. The human race had always been looking for and cultivating talents. Many sect elders had selected good seedlings from the human race and brought them to the Tianhuang City to cultivate. However, the requirements to enter the Tianhuang City were very high. The lowest level was the Lord of Heaven because the Tianhuang City did not have the energy to start from scratch and could only cultivate high-end talents. Heavenly Monarch is the threshold, and this threshold is really high, Datura muttered. Because of the war, there's no point for those with low cultivation to go. They'll just be sending themselves to their deaths. Therefore, when choosing, they avoid wasting energy and resources, as well as unnecessary sacrifices. After Yi Shang came to the Ethereal Empire, I had this idea. However, I felt that Yi Shang had a lot of room for improvement. It wasn't too late to think about it later, so I didn't mention it. Who would have thought that this would happen? The Sky Terminus Saint Emperor is shameless. Even his sect is shameless. That Bai Chu Yuan is the same. He will be dealt with sooner or later. Lin Piaomiao's face was filled with anger when she mentioned Bai Chuyuan. With this map, I'll stay there for a long time. If I can't survive the Nirvana tide, who did I offend? Night Sorrow said helplessly. The doppelganger in the Heaven's Ceiling Hall received some information about the Tianhuang city. Night Sorrow's original body and battle doppelganger both knew about it and had some understanding of the Tianhuang city. The demon-winged race was the strongest race in the Tianhuang city. They were even stronger than the human race in the celestial realm and the divine beast race. Permanent, free % look small asterisk hashtag say point. The celestial realm was the name of the human race's territory. The Tianhuang city was the territory of the demon-winged race. The Tianhuang city was an undeveloped region. The demon-winged race was strong, but other civilizations were inferior to the human race. Because they fought against the heavens and the earth, their valiant nature prevailed. They were a fighting race. In their eyes, the human race was an alien race. They would definitely kill any human race that they saw. They would often attack the celestial realm. However, with the Nirvana Ocean as a barrier and the existence of the Tianhuang city, the human race's territory was safe. Night Sorrow found a relatively safe place and set up an illusion array. In the middle of the illusion array, he set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array. Then, he embedded a teleportation crystal on it. It was the same set that he removed in the evil Punisher land. In the Ice Dragon world, the Emperor-grade teleportation crystal that Night Sorrow obtained was very large. It could be cut into 4 main bodies and some doppelgangers. If it was a rank 8 interrealm teleportation array, he could connect to other teleportation arrays within the teleportation range by exchanging the doppelgangers of the crystals. However, Emperor-level teleportation portals were impossible. Connecting Emperor-level teleportation portals to one another was possible, but the only Emperor-level teleportation portals Night Sorrow had seen so far were the ones connected to Tianhuang City and Tianhuang City. He couldn't connect to others even if he wanted to. Therefore, if Night Sorrow wanted to set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array, he could only use his main body and doppelgangers. He could only set up 4. Currently, 9 regions world had Emperor-grade teleportation arrays. Star Moon City had Emperor-grade teleportation arrays, and Night Moon's Villa also had Emperor-grade teleportation arrays. The only one left was the one that Night Sorrow could move. After setting up the teleportation array and embedding the main body and doppelgangers of the Emperor-grade teleportation crystal, Night Sorrow sighed. Just as he had guessed, the teleportation crystal would be black if the distance was too large. In other words, it couldn't be used. After taking the Emperor-grade teleportation crystal, Night Sorrow embedded another interrealm teleportation crystal. This way, even if he left this place, he could continue to set up interrealm teleportation arrays. If it was an Emperor-grade teleportation array, he wouldn't be able to complete the connection even if he left. In addition, the materials were too precious. There was no need to take unnecessary risks. After setting up a stronghold, Night Sorrow set off. He wanted to find a suitable place to cultivate. His domain of nothingness and will of destruction had to be improved. If he entered the Emperor grade, his domain would be improved. In addition, his main purpose here was to gain experience. If he could kill more demon-winged clansmen, it would be a merit, or he could break through the bottleneck of merit half-emperor. Night Sorrow had a measure of his strength. His strength was unparalleled in the same realm. However, this was only potential. There were too many people in the celestial realm who were stronger than him. In front of monarchs and emperors, this was nothing. However, the body of merit was different. Currently, no one had reached his height. If he could become the merit monarch, he would be peerless and would be a real asset. For Night Sorrow, the power of merit was only useful in battle. This was because the absolute command was only effective at the 8th step. He could deal with opponents of the 8th step with his own strength. The power of merit was useless. However, if he entered the Emperor grade, it would have a substantial effect on Emperor grade cultivators. There were too many ferocious beasts in the infinite wasteland. They could be encountered at any time. Emperor grade ferocious beasts were not rare at all. This was the buffer zone between humans and demon-winged clansmen. It was a paradise for demonic beasts. However, it was not a threat to Night Sorrow. In the infinite wasteland city, the Grand Elder called for Emperor Tang. Arrange for some diviners to divine Night Sorrow's situation once a month. Also, pay close attention to Bai Chuyuan's whereabouts. The Grand Elder instructed Emperor Tang. Chapter 17:16. It's a waste of energy. This person is narrow-minded. We should just kill him, Emperor Tang said. It's not appropriate. Others may not be narrow-minded, but we must be. Otherwise, we'll end up like him, the Grand Elder said, shaking his head. All right. We'll listen to the Grand Elder's arrangements. Emperor Tang nodded. Also, the City Lord has instructed that we should pay close attention to Night Sorrow's world, not that realm, but Night Sorrow's world. No matter what the reason is, the people around him, even if they're members of other races, must not be harmed, the Grand Elder added. Emperor Tang was stunned. The City Lord had not appeared for many years, nor had he given any orders. He did not understand why he would pay so much attention to Night Sorrow. The Grand Elder nodded at Emperor Tang, confirming that Emperor Tang did not hear wrong. Emperor Tang arrived at the Hall of Enforcers where Lu Qi and Lin Piaomiao were hiding. Emperor Tang, Elder Tang is here. Sit. Lu Qi, who was reading a file, nodded at Emperor Tang. I just took over and there are many things to deal with. Elder 7, you'll have to work hard for a while, Emperor Tang greeted. It's all right. It's just that Elder Shao suddenly encountered a problem and many things were caught off guard. This was after I persuaded Commander Lin to stay and help me deal with these matters. After Lu Qi closed the file, he took out a tea set and brewed a pot of tea. By the way, Commander Lin, I heard from Elder Ling Shu that there's a very famous tea house in Ethereal City. There are no seats available and the price is ridiculously high. A pot of tea costs thousands of Saint Spirit stones. Aren't you going to do something about it? Isn't this robbery? This is not a good atmosphere. For us humans to develop, the atmosphere and strength of character are very important. Evil people must be dealt with, Emperor Tang said. What Elder Tang knows is only one side. The price is indeed very expensive, ridiculously expensive. But why are there no seats available? It was because everyone agreed that the price was reasonable, and they were willing to go. There were two kinds of tea in the Twilight Tea House. One was the heart-cleansing tea, and the other was the enlightenment tea. One could cleanse the soul, and the other could concentrate on comprehending the Tao. Although the effect was only average, it was enough. What was the signboard of the Twilight Tea House? There are bright moons everywhere in the celestial realm. Only the twilight moon is different. Until now, no one has doubted it. It lives up to its name, Lin Piaomiao said. Is it really that powerful? After hearing Lin Piaomiao's words, Emperor Tang asked in return. It's really amazing. Misty Mist has some heart-cleansing tea here. Why don't the two elders try it? This is Night Sorrow's heart-cleansing tea. It's a gift to Buddha with borrowed flowers. Lin Misty Mist took out a teapot and started brewing tea. Night Sorrow's heart-cleansing tea. Nothing happened, but I'm going to benefit from this kid, Lu Qi said with a smile. The behind-the-scenes boss of the Twilight Tea House is actually Night Sorrow. He has a preference for good tea and good wine. The tea and wine he drinks are not available in the celestial realm, Lin Piaomiao said as she brewed the tea. I don't know how this kid is now. In an unfamiliar environment, he has no companions and has to rely on himself. It's worrying. I haven't seen a merit demi-emperor who hasn't been born yet. If anything happens, I'll deal with Bai Chuyuan immediately, Lu Qi said. Nothing will happen. Misty Mist talked to him and gave him some information about Tian Huang. He should have some idea about Tian Huang and the demon-winged clan, Lin Piaomiao said. He's been exiled, but you can still talk to him. What kind of method is that? Emperor Tang looked at Lin Piaomiao in surprise. His original body and an avatar were exiled, but he still has an avatar in his world. Lin Piaomiao explained the situation. What's the concept of his world? Lu Qi asked. There are some things about him that outsiders don't know. I'll tell the two elders. This guy's background is very deep. He's a realm lord and has the world's origin in his body. It's a supreme attribute that's perfectly compatible with his attributes. He's born with the void attribute and it's perfect. He's now a demi-emperor. He also has the destruction attribute. Although he wasn't born with it, it's complete without any impurities. The cultivation of the destruction attribute is the bottleneck of the monarch realm. Wasn't he said to be a space-time one-star emperor? Why does he have two supreme attributes now? Lu Qi stood up. He's sincere, but he's not stupid. He won't expose his background. Not only is he a space-time emperor, but his body is also at the overlord realm. He doesn't use energy and his physical attacks are at the overlord realm. One of his clones in the world has fused with a treasure manifested by the world's origin. He can't leave the world. Besides, his original body has the world's origin to protect him. He's truly immortal, Lin Piaomiao said. This guy really knows how to hide. He didn't reveal himself until he was exiled. Lu Qi nodded. He has great potential. With 3 attributes, he already has a very deep foundation. If his comprehension is higher, he'll be a perfect seedling, Emperor Tang said. Comprehension? Emperor Tang, elder, do you think that he's from a small world? Without any inheritance, he reached the overlord realm in 200 years. His comprehension isn't bad. Most of his combat techniques were developed by himself. Currently, his strongest technique was developed by himself. He single-handedly defeated Dong Hao Mountain, a force with 2 monarchs. The 2 monarchs couldn't do anything to him. In the end, they were forced to compromise and give up half of their territory. This shows his combat strength and comprehension. Lin Piaomiao recounted the battle between Night Sorrow and Dong Hao Mountain. That means he's also a war genius, Emperor Tang exhaled and said. %L forever H free, W look UJ small asterisk P say 5-inch Piaomiao feels that our sect elders should really pay attention to his situation. What we know now is just bits and pieces. He has commanded several realm battles and won all of them. He is a master tactician. Lin Piaomiao said. Lu Qi lowered his head and pondered. After a moment, he raised his head. I've informed Gu Qi and Elder Spirit Tree to come over. Both of them admire Night Sorrow, so they're the most suitable to investigate this matter. They're also the most reliable to ensure that nothing harms Night Sorrow. Lin Piaomiao nodded her head. She wouldn't be at ease if it was anyone else but Gu Qi and Elder Ling Shu. This little guy's foundation is still very deep. We must dig it out. After we understand it, we can make appropriate arrangements. Countless years have passed, and our human race has always been at a disadvantage in the battle against the demon-winged clan. Therefore, we must pay attention to the cultivation of young people. The Grand Elder appeared in the conference hall. Lu Qi, Emperor Tang, and Lin Piaomiao stood up and cupped their hands in greeting. Everyone, take a seat. Fortunately, Piaomiao, you came in time. Otherwise, there would be too many problems with the handling of this matter. Piaomiao, you're right about one thing. Our human race is really destroying our own foundation. The Grand Elder sat down and said. Chapter 1717. What? That bastard actually said he doesn't want to join Tianhuang City? Lu Qi slammed the table. 7th Elder, you don't have to be angry. Now that he has appeared in Misty Dynasty's territory, Misty Dynasty couldn't even let him join Misty Dynasty even if we wanted to. Hence, we could only let him be the unrestricted overlord of Misty Dynasty. To put it bluntly, his ambition is huge and he won't be restrained by others. This is the pride in the depths of his soul. Those who haven't seen him wouldn't understand. His pride is in his bones, in his soul. Let's not talk about this first. Our human race has been developing slowly these years. Most of the commanders are still from the human race. But what about the captains? They are all from the other races of the Alliance. If this continues, there will be a shortage of manpower. There is no problem with Misty being the next commander of Heaven Wasteland Domain. She will remain in the human race. However, will the vanguard position of Heaven Wasteland Domain still belong to the human race? The human race has the largest population and the Alliance has always been led by the human race. However, we have to be fair to the other races in the Alliance. The elders of Tianxiang race, Rock race, Phantom race, and Fox race aren't in Tianhuang City recently. They are all training the next generation. If we want the Alliance to be stable, strength is the most important thing, the Grand Elder said. Lu Qi and Emperor Tang bowed and listened. Lin Piaomiao didn't say anything. The Grand Elder knew the situation in Tianhuang City the best. Grand Elder, if Knight Sorrow really doesn't want to join Tianhuang City and serve the human race because of Bai Chuyuan and Xiao Jun's unfair punishment, what should we do? Emperor Tang asked. Piaomiao can handle it. Is there anything that Piaomiao can't handle? Moreover, he is the virtuous merit half-emperor. He won't be so narrow-minded. Whoever wronged him, he will find that person. He won't act on impulse and ignore the big picture. The Grand Elder looked at Lin Piaomiao. Grand Elder, you have thrown such a big hat at me. Piaomiao has to accept it. Lin Piaomiao sighed and said. Hee. Just accept it. The Grand Elder nodded at Lin Piaomiao and left. Knight Sorrow advanced for a while and calculated the distance. He then set up a teleportation array that was connected to his stronghold. He then began to refine an array disk. He wanted to refine a top-grade teleportation array disk so that he could embed some high-grade teleportation crystals. Because he could set up an Emperor-level teleportation array and had reached the level of an Emperor-level artifact master, Knight Sorrow's artifact refining skills had skyrocketed. After failing twice, he finally refined a top-grade teleportation array disk. However, its size was relatively larger. In the past, Knight Sorrow's high-grade array disks were the size of a human head. This time, the top-grade teleportation array disk was about the size of a millstone. Knight Sorrow tested it a few times and felt that it was relatively stable. Treasure, this array disk was definitely a treasure. It was a mobile interrealm teleportation array. It was not something that could be created by ordinary artificers. With the teleportation array disk, Knight Sorrow thought for a while and upgraded the Death Trap array disk. Although the array disk's grade was lower, Knight Sorrow used a refining method that was compatible with the array disk and increased the power of the Death Trap array disk. After arranging the retreat route, Knight Sorrow continued to advance. His target was the Heaven Desolate Mountain. The Heaven Desolate Mountain was a good place to comprehend and cultivate will and domain. However, due to the war and the natural barrier of the Nirvana Ocean, humans could no longer cultivate in the Heaven Desolate Mountain. It was too dangerous because they would be killed if they encountered the demon-winged race. The Heaven Desolate City had also sealed off the route to the Heaven Desolate Mountain. Knight Sorrow was thrown out, which meant that he had a chance to reach the Heaven Desolate Mountain. However, he had to bear the risk of being discovered and killed by the demon-winged race. As he advanced, Knight Sorrow's soul power was pushed to the maximum by the 9-domain origin bead. This way, he could detect danger in advance. Even if an Emperor Realm expert from the demon-winged race came, Knight Sorrow could retreat. He could enter the void turbulence or use the teleportation array disk. These were all life-saving methods. When he discovered ordinary beasts, Knight Sorrow would avoid them as much as he could. Knight Sorrow had no interest in hunting King Realm demonic beasts because they were not challenging. Of course, Knight Sorrow would not be courteous if they were carrying precious materials. He would directly kill them. The distance between the Nirvana Ocean and the Heaven Desolate Mountain wasn't close. It was a few tens of millions of miles in a straight line. Every 10 million miles, Knight Sorrow would set up an interrealm teleportation array and change the teleportation crystal in the teleportation array disk. This was done to avoid having to run back to the starting point and then set off again for another tens of millions of kilometers if an opponent that they couldn't handle appeared. Of course, in the human world, tens of millions of miles was nothing. One could fly across it in 1 or 2 days. However, this was the infinite wasteland, an area not dominated by humans. They could not fly quickly. Night Sorrow felt that there was nothing wrong with being careful. It took Night Sorrow more than half a month to travel tens of millions of miles. Forever__read our novels for free. The towering Mount Tianhuang was even more majestic and domineering than Sky Vault Cliff. It was full of flowing energy, and even the striped energy that Night Sorrow had seen in the void space in the Void Mountain appeared. There were not only 2 types of striped energy here, but many types. In other words, it was the intersection of many types of energy. It was suitable for cultivators of various attributes to cultivate here. According to the records that Lin Piaomiao gave him, the Heaven Desolate Mountain was the dividing line between humans and demon-winged clan. This was the territory of the human race. Over the mountain was Tianhuang, which was ruled by the demon-wing clan. However, because humans did not come here, the entire Heaven Desolate Mountain was occupied by the demon-wing clan. The Heaven Desolate Mountain was closest to the Sky Vault Cliff. Although the energy was violent, it was very dense. No matter what attribute, one could find a suitable place to cultivate. As the sky approached the Heaven Desolate Mountain, Night Sorrow became even more cautious. Although the Heaven Desolate Mountain spanned tens of millions of miles, the possibility of encountering the Demon Wing clan was very high. It would be troublesome if he encountered an Emperor Realm Demon Wing clan. He had no backing, but the Demon Wing clan was different. They could send a message to their clan for support. Under such circumstances, Night Sorrow felt that finding a place to cultivate was the best way. Night Sorrow planned to break through his void domain first. His chi would enter the Emperor Realm. Then, his fighting strength would increase a lot. This was because the void domain and the spacetime domain had some similarities. In addition, Night Sorrow could advance his domain. His spacetime domain was a second-level domain. If his void domain entered the Emperor Realm, then he could use the void domain as the main force to advance his domain to the void spacetime domain. Its power would increase a lot. After entering the Heaven Desolate Mountain, Night Sorrow continued to fly, looking for a suitable place to cultivate. He continued to search for the existence of the Demon Wing clan. 4 hours later, Night Sorrow found the natural enemy of humans, the Demon Wing clan. They were a race with a single horn on their head and a pair of wings on their back. They were very talented. Their horn contained soul attacks, and the pair of wings on their back increased their speed. Because of their talent, the Demon Wing clan would not be at a disadvantage when fighting against humans of the same level. Chapter 1718. The Demon Wings race's face was no different from a human's, but their bodies were sturdier and more powerful. They were filled with explosive energy. Night Sorrow was considering if he should kill the 2-star Monarch Realm Demon Wings race or take a detour. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to give it a try. If there was a chance, he would kill. The Demon Wings race and the human race were natural enemies. In the past years, countless humans had died in the hands of the Demon Wings race. They could be said to be cannibals. Brandishing his reincarnation spear, he pierced through the spatial barrier. Night Sorrow entered the spatial turbulence and approached the Demon Wings race. When he was 20 zhang away from the Demon Wings race, Night Sorrow pierced through the spatial barrier and appeared. He didn't launch a sneak attack as he didn't have such thoughts. Although the human race and the Demon Wings race were natural enemies, Night Sorrow wanted to test the combat power of the Demon Wings race. When Night Sorrow appeared, the Demon Wings race stood up. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Human race. If you had the chance to launch a sneak attack, why didn't you do it? The Demon Wings race looked at Night Sorrow and asked. The battle saber that was placed on his knees was now in his hands. We have never met before and have no personal grudges. Why would I launch a sneak attack just because we are natural enemies? I don't think it's necessary, Night Sorrow said. All right. In that case, I won't inform my race. You and I will fight to determine the winner. Even if you run away, I won't inform my race to pursue you, the Demon Wings race man said as he waved his battle saber. All right. This is the first time I see a Demon Wings race man. Let's fight. I won't chase you even if you run. Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear. Haha. Very interesting. Come on. My name is Demon Throat. Demon Throat leaped up and slashed at Night Sorrow with his saber in both hands. Night Sorrow took a step forward with his right foot and thrust out his reincarnation spear. He didn't use any combat skills because Demon Throat didn't use any combat skills either. He relied on his physical strength to kill. Bang! With a muffled sound, Night Sorrow's feet sank into the ground. Everything below his knees could no longer be seen. One had to know that Night Sorrow had originally been standing on extremely hard green rock. It was obvious how strong the impact of this collision was. Devil Throat's body flew backward for over 100 feet before landing on the ground. His feet were deeply embedded in the green rock. Good. You are very strong. You are qualified to leave your name. Fiend Throat looked at Night Sorrow. My name is Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow exerted strength in his legs and leaped into the air. Then, he bent and straightened his body like a bow. Brandishing his reincarnation spear, he smashed it toward Demon Throat. It would be impolite not to reciprocate. Yi Shang also wanted Demon Throat to test his physical strength. Elder Emperor Tang, Night Sorrow and the Demon Wing clan have started fighting. In the Tianhuang city, a diviner anxiously informed Emperor Tang. Emperor Tang was currently discussing matters with Lu Qi and Lin Piaomiao. Upon hearing this news, the three of them directly went to a hall. There was a group of diviners in the hall. At this moment, a diviner was divining the scene of Night Sorrow's battle. His opponent is called Demon Throat. This surname belongs to the royal family of the Demon Wing clan. Elder Zhai Xing, who was in charge of the divination, said. Demon Throat didn't retreat. Instead, his right leg took a step forward in the green rock. As the rock powder flew, he slashed at Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear. Following the sound of an explosion, several cracks appeared in the space. This was the impact of the two's physical strength. Night Sorrow somersaulted and landed on the ground. His feet once again sank into the green rock. A pair of combat boots covered his calves. Due to the impact, the boots had already fallen to the bottom. On the other hand, Demon Throat was nowhere to be seen. He had been blasted into the ground by Night Sorrow's spear. As the ground trembled, Demon Throat rushed out from the ground. Night Sorrow didn't attack first, and neither did Demon Throat. He patted the gravel on his head with his left hand. The elders have always said that humans have weak bodies. So it was a lie. You're strong. Again. With a low roar, Demon Throat charged at Night Sorrow. The two of them began to fight again. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was wide open. Every time he attacked, he could repel Demon Throat. The area where the two of them were fighting shook the earth and mountains. Idiot. He clearly has the upper hand. Why didn't he use his ultimate move? This is the royal family of the Demon Wing clan. Emperor Tang roared. He's not an idiot. This is his first time fighting with the Demon Wing clan. Killing the enemy is secondary. He wants to know the background of the Demon Wing clan. Killing a member of the Demon Wing clan doesn't mean much to him. Besides, how did he know that it was the royal family of the Demon Wing clan? Lu Qi said. These are two ferocious beasts. This is a head-on battle without using true energy. Strange. Why didn't they use true energy? Another human clan elder who came to watch asked in confusion. The battle between them should be called a gentleman's battle. Night Sorrow had the opportunity to launch a sneak attack, but he didn't. Instead, he chose to fight head-on. This Demon Wing clan member also promised not to inform his clan regardless of the outcome, Elder Zhai Xing said. First release of original version, isn't this pedantic? If we encounter a member of the Demon Wing clan, we should kill them first. The human clan elder who asked the question said. Everyone, be quiet and watch. Lu Qi waved his hand. Comfortable. We, the Demon Wing clan, have always been proud of our strong bodies. But today, in a battle of bodies, I, Demon Throat, have lost. Next, let's show off our abilities and see who's stronger. Demon Throat roared, and then energy burst out from his body. This strength is equivalent to a 2-star emperor. Emperor Tang said. The other human clan elders who were watching did not say anything. They were all watching quietly, watching the battle between the human clan's younger generation and the Demon Wing clan. Night Sorrow's spacetime domain burst out, and then charged towards Demon Throat. They were extremely fast. Night Sorrow and Demon Throat were both extremely fast, and the sky was filled with afterimages. Night Sorrow's spacetime domain specialized in speed. Demon Throat's spacetime domain focused on space and had a wind attribute. There was also a destructive aura in the middle. Coupled with the pair of demon wings on his back, his speed was extremely fast. The two of them fought with speed in midair. Then, there was a collision of energy. Night Sorrow's spacetime energy was not at a disadvantage against Demon Throat. At this moment, a black halo appeared on Demon Throat's horn. One ring after another, it pulsated rhythmically on the horn. Then, 2 rings flew towards Night Sorrow. Space Crack. Night Sorrow performed Space Crack. Then, his body slid, and he appeared behind the Space Crack's energy. When Demon Throat's soul attack was affected by the space crack, Night Sorrow's body flashed and went around the area of the space crack. Then, 2 deep purple crescent blades flew out from his divine sea and slashed towards Demon Throat. At the same time, the aura on the reincarnation spear disappeared. He performed the true dragon destruction art. Strength, speed, and attack strength had been tested. Night Sorrow planned to end the battle now. With Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear as the point, the black halo rippled in all directions and shrouded Demon Throat. Demon Throat's expression changed. He released all the halos on his horn and attacked in all directions. Then, he slashed at Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear with his battle blade. Night Sorrow's reincarnation spear was displayed again. His offensive technique changed to Void Return to Origin Kill. At the same time, energy burst out from his body, and a clone appeared behind Night Sorrow's original body. Bang! With a loud explosion, Demon Throat was sent flying by Night Sorrow's Void Return to Origin Kill. Chapter 1719. You're running away, right? Then I won't chase after you. Night Sorrow and his avatar merged into one again. Very good. You, Night Sorrow, will keep your word. I, Devil Throat, will not go back on my words. I won't inform my clansmen. I'll give you this cultivation treasure land. I'll come back 3 years later and cut you down with my blade. After giving Night Sorrow a glance, Devil Throat's body flashed and disappeared from Night Sorrow's line of sight. I won't kill you this time, but if you come again next time, I won't be polite. Yi Shang muttered to himself as he looked at his surroundings. The spirit qi here was extremely dense. On the opposite mountain, there were constantly flickering energies that contained the will of many attributes. Night Sorrow's body soared into the sky as he continuously threw out the spiritual stones in his hand. The range was 100 miles. An hour later, a large compound illusion array was formed. After the array was set up, Night Sorrow took out the teleportation array disc. Looking at the shining teleportation crystal, he nodded in satisfaction. What's that thing? Elder Ling Shu, who came to watch, asked. At this time, many people had gathered in the divination hall. Qin Xianjia, Gu Qi, and Elder Ling Shu were all present. It's a teleportation array disc. It's a top-grade teleportation array disk. It can be refined to the size of a millstone. How crude, Gucci said. Night Sorrow stood in the center of the illusion array. Looking around, he found that his vision was somewhat obstructed. After thinking for a moment, he stretched out his right hand and pointed forward. Clouds, disperse. As Night Sorrow's right index finger flashed with golden light, the clouds in the sky dispersed. At the same time, the illusion array's effect was still present. Old bastards of the heavenly desolate city, even if you banish me, I can still snatch your territory and live a carefree life. Night Sorrow cursed and released the Clear Sky Pagoda. After controlling the height of the 2 floors of the Clear Sky Pagoda, Night Sorrow left behind a doppelganger, while his main body flashed and sat cross-legged at the top of the pagoda. After telling Shao Kong to help him accelerate time, he started cultivating. At this time, the clairvoyant had run out of energy and stopped divining. The main reason was that Night Sorrow had called him an old bastard. This caused the clairvoyant's heart to tremble, causing his energy to become unstable and unable to continue divining. Absolute command. Elder Chi, that was the absolute command that only virtuous saints and above can use, right? Qin Xinjie looked at Lu Qi. That's right. I didn't think that I would become an old bastard now. This bastard really doesn't give me any face. However, his combat prowess is all around powerful, Lu Qi said. Everyone had seen the battle just now. Although there was no sound, everyone could clearly tell from the scene and the shape of the lips. The younger generation of the royal family of the Demon Wing clan has fallen into a disadvantageous position in a head-on confrontation with the younger generation of the human clan. This is a matter worthy of celebration. We have no choice but to take the blame for Elder Shao and Bai Chuyuan, Qin Xinjie said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, this bastard's survivability isn't a problem. He has an illusionary array and a teleportation array disk in his hand. He's prepared to run if things don't work out. It won't be easy for anyone to kill him, Lu Qi said. It's fine as long as he's safe. Just now, his original body was sitting at the top of the Dharma treasure tower. His body was shrouded in gray energy and his figure was almost invisible. Was that a time acceleration? Emperor Tang described the last scene he saw. It should be. We don't have to worry. He's living very freely. He himself said that he's just as carefree when it comes to snatching territory, Lu Qi said. This guy's attainments in array formations are also very deep. He's learning too many things. It's easy to delay his cultivation progress, Gu Qi said. His alchemy and refining skills are already at the emperor level. His attainments in array formations aren't low either. How can he stop at this level? A person like him has his own ideas. It's useless to persuade others. Elder Zhai Xing, you should pay more attention to him, Lu Qi said. Seeing Night Sorrow's situation, Lin Piaomiao felt relieved. However, she also admired Night Sorrow for scolding a human sect elder. One had to know that in the human race, no one dared to talk about a human sect elder. If there was any disrespect, they would be punished. Night Sorrow sat at the top of the Clear Sky Pagoda. He felt the void energy rolling on the mountain peak and began to comprehend. In the Clear Heaven Pagoda, although he couldn't accelerate time by 50 times, with Shao Kong's help, he was able to accelerate time by 30 times. The cost of Saint Spirit stones was nothing to Yishang, so it wasn't a big deal. While the main body cultivated, Night Sorrow's doppelganger pondered for a moment and began to refine array discs. He planned to leave this place for a walk. Therefore, he must have some self-protection measures. With successful examples, Night Sorrow could refine a top-grade transmission array disc without any difficulty. In just 2 days, Night Sorrow set up another transmission array beside the Clear Sky Pagoda. After the transmission crystal was embedded and the transmission array disc was tested, Night Sorrow set off. The environment of the Heaven Desolate Mountain was harsh. Those that could survive here were all high-level beasts and heavenly treasures. Although there were Demon Wings clan people, their civilization was low. Even if they had a cultivation civilization, they were different from humans. Therefore, as long as one searched, there would be opportunities. In addition, the beasts here also carried high-level materials. At the same time, Night Sorrow also knew that the Heaven Desolate Mountain was once a battlefield between humans and Demon Wings clan. Many giants fell there. If one could find a fallen giant, it would be an opportunity. As for whether the Demon Wings clan would beat him to it, that was impossible. Even if the human giants fell, they would have a backup plan. It was not something the Demon Wings clan could find. Night Sorrow walked forward. After walking for a while, the combat boots on his feet were the same as the main bodies. Only the boot cover was left on his calf. The main reason was that the bluestone under his feet was very sharp. After taking off the boot cover, Night Sorrow released a burst of true fire and burned it. The main reason was that he did not want to leave any traces. Walking barefoot, Night Sorrow directly killed any beasts he encountered. If there were any rare materials, he would not let them go to waste. All of them were stored in the storage ring. Time passed like this, and Night Sorrow became sloppy. His hair tie was broken, and his robes were tattered. He had been fighting all this time, so he didn't care about these things. Night Sorrow's aura cycled between restraint and sharpness. When restrained, it was more and more stable. When sharp, it was more and more overflowing with battle intent. Night Sorrow reorganized what he had learned in the past. Because of his tyrannical physical body, Night Sorrow picked up the heaven-covering hand and made it a commonly used combat skill again. A tirade demonic beast, even if it was at the Heaven Monarch realm, couldn't withstand a slap from Night Sorrow's energy hand. Even the founder of the Medicine Valley, the Tianding King, could not imagine the power of the heaven-covering hand now. After killing an Emperor-tier Raging Flame Tiger, Night Sorrow packed up the materials and roasted the Raging Flame Tiger's hind leg. Taking out a jar of wine, he ate the tiger leg meat and looked at the rising moon. Night Sorrow was a little emotional. He had been out for a year, which meant that he had been exiled for a year. Chapter 1720. The doppelganger had trained for a year, but Night Sorrow's main body had spent 30 years with the help of the Clear Sky Pagoda. In the past 30 years, Night Sorrow's domain of nothingness had improved. His domain of spacetime had also improved. Now, it had reached 15%, which meant that he had reached the middle stage of one-star emperor. The only regret was that his will of destruction was still stuck at a bottleneck. In the past year, Night Sorrow had collected a lot of materials. There were 6 horns of the Demon Wing race in his storage ring. The Demon Wing race knew that some of their people had died in the Desolate Mountain and had already started investigating. However, Night Sorrow's soul power was very strong. Whenever a high-level Demon Wing race member appeared, he would avoid them in advance. Pretty good. Isn't it just banishment? Emperor Lord, Level 4 Domain Realm. 10 years or 100 years, I can endure it. Night Sorrow muttered and continued drinking. Then, he leaned against the tree and slept. Night Sorrow rested whenever he needed to. This bastard is eating and sleeping well now. A 2-star Emperor Raging Flame Tiger should taste good after roasting it. Lu Qi looked at Night Sorrow and the divination image and said. 7th Elder, when he was organizing the materials last time, Zhai Xing saw 6 horns of the Demon Wing race. 5 of them had 2 round marks. They are 2-star Emperor rank. If he kills like this, he will be targeted by the Demon Wing race. Then, he will be in great danger. Elder Zhai Xing said. He should have thought of this. He has a backup plan. This bastard has many trump cards. Lu Qi said. That's true. I saw him use the teleportation array disc twice to escape. He should have found an opponent that he can't deal with. Zhai Xing nodded. See, I was right. He is not stupid. It won't be that easy to kill this bastard. Lu Qi said with a smile. 7th Elder, let's not be sarcastic. Look at what you have done to this child. What was he like before? He used to be an elegant young master. Now, he is barefoot and his hair is not tied up. He looks like a beggar in a small world. Qin Xinjie said. That's right. He's the domain lord of a domain, a marquis of a region. He probably hasn't experienced such a situation before. Lin Piaomiao's heart ached a little. You women are so troublesome. Only a man with such experience can be considered a real man. After experiencing the baptism of loneliness, blood, and war, what can stop him in the future? Lu Qi said. All right. You really have a heart of stone. When he comes back, he will probably scold you in front of us. Qin Xinjie turned his head and looked to the side. Has he not scolded enough? Grand Elder Qin asked everyone who cared. If he wants to scold me, he can scold me all he wants. I don't care. Misty, how is the development of the forces under him? We tricked them, so how can we take good care of their nest? Lu Qi looked at Lin Piaomiao and asked. Now that he had brought Lin Piaomiao with him, he planned to help her ascend the throne. Therefore, he was more casual with the way he addressed her. It is developing very smoothly. However, the people of Sky Peak sect are still on the move. They are constantly investigating the news of the Chaos Domain. They infiltrated 2 groups of people under Knight Soro's command. However, they were eliminated by his subordinates. The strength of his companions has increased by leaps and bounds. However, they are still very hostile towards Tianhuang City. They told Knight Soro's wife that they are not done with Tianhuang City. They will settle the score sooner or later. It was Misty and Knight Soro's wife who comforted them a few times that they finally calmed down. Lin Piaomiao said. A bunch of audacious little fellows. We'll bear with it. If the celestial sect dares to mess around again, Misty, give them a ruthless lesson so that they'll remember, Lu Qi said. Grand Elder 7, the people around Knight Soro are all very strong. Their backgrounds are also strange. Descendants of Green Rock, Nine-Tailed Fox, and one of Knight Soro's elders. Of course, she is not even 1,000 years old. She is still very young. However, she has the Ice Phoenix bloodline. Lin Piaomiao said. When Lin Piaomiao said that, everyone was shocked. These were all heaven-defying races. Their bloodlines were very terrifying. Seems like the city lord already knew. We cannot let anything happen to these people. Lu Qi said. The people around this bastard are all very strong. What bloodline does he have? What he used last time seemed to be some kind of bloodline ability. However, it is hard to tell from the divination image. Emperor Tang said. Bastard was now the name of Knight Soro in the human race's Grand Elder's mouth. Space attribute bloodline ability. After awakening his bloodline ability, he directly entered the Emperor realm. However, I am not sure what it is exactly. Lin Piaomiao said after looking around and seeing that everyone was trustworthy. Does Grand Elder Qin know about this bloodline? Lu Qi looked at Qin Xinjie. I have not heard of it. Perhaps the city lord and the Grand Elder know about it. Qin Xinjie said. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, Knight Soro had been in Tianhuang for 2 years. Knight Soro's original body opened his eyes. The scene in his eyes flickered and turned into nothingness. For, after keeping the clear sky pagoda, Knight Soro entered the teleportation formation and began to teleport. After teleporting a few times, Knight Soro arrived at his stronghold at the Nirvana seaside. He then sat down cross-legged. He had no choice but to sit down because the divine wind of destruction and soul-extinguishing flame appeared around him. After cultivating for 2 years, Knight Soro's domain of nothingness had finally reached 10% completion and reached the Emperor realm. Therefore, the divine wind of destruction and soul-extinguishing flame appeared again. After sitting down cross-legged, Knight Soro endured the trials of wind and fire while comprehending the will of destruction. The tribulation of the Emperor realm was terrifying for others. However, for Knight Soro, it was worth looking forward to because this was the opportunity for him to comprehend the will of destruction. The divination master in Tianhuang City saw the scene of Night Sorrow's body. Zhai Xing immediately sent people to inform the human race's Grand Elders and the law enforcement Grand Elders. It could be said that the human race's Grand Elders who had nothing to do in Tianhuang City were extremely interested in Night Sorrow's matter. This is a breakthrough, Emperor Tang said. What kind of aptitude is this? He has only been exiled for 2 years. At that time, he had just entered the one-star Emperor realm. To have such progress is truly terrifying, Gu Qi said with some emotion. He didn't advance to 2-star Emperor realm. It's another attribute. Lu Qi narrowed his eyes. He could tell from the purple light that enveloped Night Sorrow's body. It was the light of the domain of nothingness that leaked out when Night Sorrow couldn't perfectly control his aura after advancing. After 2 days, Night Sorrow made a move. He placed his left hand on his dantian and his right hand on his chest. His index finger flickered with golden light as he said, "Divine wind of destruction, strengthen." As the Merit Half-Emperor's words were used, the divine wind of destruction on Night Sorrow's body intensified and began to revolve around Night Sorrow. Chapter 1721. Half a day later, the godly wind of destruction and soul-extinguishing flame dispersed, and Night Sorrow stood up. Night Sorrow shook the tattered battle robe on his body and took a step forward. He stretched his arms behind him and took out a jar of wine. After drinking 2 mouthfuls, he began to practice his spear techniques. With the support of the Nihility domain, Night Sorrow's Nihility returning to Origin Kill and Nihility Extreme Point Kill alternated. Wherever the tip of the spear passed, the space was filled with holes and spider patterns. The Great Emperor Reincarnation / was mixed in with the spear technique. Since when did the space of infinite wasteland become so fragile? Elder Ling Shu muttered. It's not that the spatial barrier is weak. It's just that his attacks are strong enough to destroy space. The Grand Elder appeared with the coiling dragon silver spear in hand. L-W*. The elders who had been watching all cupped their hands in greeting to the Grand Elder. After cultivating for an hour, Night Sorrow's spear technique changed again. It became a spear technique of destruction energy. His spear technique was the true dragon annihilation of destruction. Every thrust of his spear would pierce a small hole in space. This was the power of the spiral-piercing energy. After practicing the extermination true dragon kill for a while, Night Sorrow performed the Great Death Annihilation /. Although the Great Death Obliteration / was not as powerful as the True Dragon Annihilation / or the Great Emperor Samsara / its power had increased greatly with the advancement of Night Sorrow's spacetime attribute. What the hell is this bastard cultivating? Seeing Night Sorrow's attributes for the first time, Lu Qi was a little surprised. This is the death energy he cultivated using the death attribute treasure, the Yellow Spring Stone. He hasn't succeeded yet, but he has a unique skill that can affect souls in space. Lin Xianer said. She had seen Night Sorrow use the Great Death / on the Blood Battle platform, so she understood. This bastard's foundation is deep enough. Throwing him into Tianhuang was the right choice. Slowly squeeze him out and his potential will come out, Lu Qi said. 7th Sect Elder, if he hears what you just said, he might scold you, Qin Xinjie said. It doesn't matter. He keeps calling me an old bastard. I'm numb to it. Lu Qi said. 7th Elder, you're thinking too much. He should be scolding the 2 people who tricked him, not the elders of our human race. Lin Piaomiao explained for Night Sorrow. Misty, you don't have to explain for him. Regarding the matter of him being banished, it is indeed our Tianhuang City that has wronged him. So what if he scolds us? It really doesn't matter. Lu Qi said with a smile. After cultivating his spear art for a while, Night Sorrow's main body sat on the teleportation array and returned to the stronghold he had snatched from Demon Throat in the Mount Tianhuang to continue cultivating. Currently, there were more and more complicated things he needed to cultivate. He needed to fuse and deepen his understanding of the 2 domains. In addition, he also needed to comprehend the destructive force. At the same time, Night Sorrow's clone in the Heaven's Sealing Hall also went into seclusion and began to deduce the fusion of the nihility domain and the spacetime domain. Yi Shang was well aware of the fact that he had to turn his achievements into strength. Demon Throat had left behind a 3-year agreement, and there was only 1 year left. Night Sorrow naturally took this matter to heart. He had killed a few 2-star emperors of the demonic Wing clan, and there was a gap between them and Demon Throat. Therefore, he knew that Demon Throat wasn't simple. Last time, both sides were probing each other. It was hard for Night Sorrow to say if Demon Throat had any ultimate moves because the 2-star demonic Wing clan he killed all had their ultimate moves. Fortunately, his body and soul were flawless. Night Sorrow's clone's training was still ongoing, but there were fewer battles. This was because he spent most of his time studying the fusion of domains. He wanted to cultivate the nihility spacetime domain. Often, he would stay for half a month to cultivate. Night Sorrow's aura went from reserved to sharp, but there was an additional aura of loneliness and vicissitudes. In Tianhuang City, Lin Piaomiao was holding the information scrolls sent from various places, but her eyes were a little erratic. Piaomiao, what's wrong? Lu Qi looked at Lin Piaomiao. I wonder how Night Sorrow is doing now. No matter how strong he is still young. Training alone in the demonic Wing clan's territory must be very stressful, Lin Piaomiao said. It's fine. Don't worry too much. To be able to cultivate to the Emperor realm, he must be very determined. He won't be defeated by this. If there's really a problem, I will report it to the Grand Elder, Lu Qi said. Thank you, 7th Elder. I'm just a little worried. It's nothing, Lin Piaomiao sighed. Piaomiao, you've been alone for many years. Don't you have a suitable partner? Lu Qi closed the scrolls in his hands. No. I've been cultivating in seclusion. I haven't thought about this, Lin Piaomiao said after being stunned for a moment. You can consider it. You're still young and have a long road ahead of you. If you have a suitable partner, it will be good for your life and your future, Lu Qi said. 7th Elder, why do you say this? Cultivators don't care about this, right? Most of the people in Tianhuang City don't have a partner. Lin Piaomiao's originally white face blushed. Not really. They all had partners before, but they were all young. Some of their partners didn't cultivate to the 8th rank, some died in battle. They weren't strong enough and there were many other reasons. So in the end, they died alone. Being alone is the price to pay for choosing the wrong partner. You're different. At your level, the Tao companion you choose should be able to go far. Lu Qi exhaled and said. What about you, 7th Elder? Lin Piaomiao asked. I was young back then. I got married when I was a venerable. She was just an ordinary person. I knew it was fated to be a short happiness. But because I loved her, I married her. In reality, happiness are short, but I don't regret it. Life should be exciting and unyielding. Otherwise, I'll become a walking corpse. Lu Qi's eyes were filled with nostalgia. Piaomiao understands. If it were up to Piaomiao, I would do the same. Lin Piaomiao looked at Lu Qi and said. She didn't know much about Lu Qi, but now she admired him. After my wife died, it was the beginning of my rise in life. Extreme emotions can only be extreme Tao. If you have emotions in your heart, it's the emotional Tao. If you have no emotions in your heart, it's the heartless Tao. Lu Qi said. 7th Elder, you. Lin Piaomiao didn't know how to continue. It used to be the heartless Tao. After my wife died, my heart became heartless, so I cultivated the heartless slaughter Tao. Later on, I comprehended it. Because countless years have passed, my wife is still in my heart. She is living in a different way, so I switched to the Tao of emotions. Fortunately, I have achieved some success. Lu Qi smiled. Thank you, 7th Elder. I understand. Lin Piaomiao nodded. Chapter 1722. Leaving Lin Piaomiao to ponder, Lu Qi left the room. He wanted to give Lin Piaomiao some time to think. Lu Qi was the youngest among the human race's law enforcement elders. He was even younger than the ordinary elders. However, he had experienced a lot, and all of it was the accumulation of life. This could not be described by age. A person who had lived for 100 million years in a muddle-headed manner would not have experienced the wonderful life of a 100-year-old. Lu Qi was the perfect example. Lu Qi saw Lin Piaomiao's worry and nervousness towards Night's sorrow, so he reminded her. He felt that Lin Piaomiao only had two choices. Either she had feelings or she was heartless. Otherwise, Night's sorrow would be her weakness. As an emperor, Lin Piaomiao naturally understood some things. Originally, the onlookers saw the game more clearly than the person directly involved. But after Lu Qi said that, she understood the choice she had to make. But this choice was difficult. She really admired Night's sorrow. As for Night's sorrow's current situation, she was indeed worried. But whether she really liked him or not, she didn't know. Cut off her feelings? If it was in the past, she could do it. But after seeing Night's sorrow's harmonious family, she also yearned for that kind of life. No one wanted to be alone for the rest of their life. No one wanted to live a muddle-headed life. If you asked if she liked Night's sorrow, Lin Piaomiao wasn't sure. But even if she liked him, there were many problems. Did Night's sorrow like her? Night's sorrow also had a family. She saw how harmonious Night's sorrow's family was. She reached out and patted her forehead. Lin Piaomiao knew that she was facing a difficult situation. But she had to wait and see. She couldn't make a decision for now. What's wrong? You're having a headache. I knew it. Come, have a cup of tea and calm down. Lu Qi came back with a smile and made tea. Elder 7 is right. Piaomiao is facing some problems. But I can't make a decision for now. Lin Piaomiao wasn't a bashful person. She would say whatever she wanted. She wouldn't say anything that wasn't true. Sigh. Silly girl, the answer is actually very obvious. If you don't have any ideas, with your personality, you will immediately make a decision. Once you have an idea, then don't hesitate. Lu Qi came up with a new conclusion. Seventh Elder, can we not be so wise and farsighted? It's making Misty Meow feel a little embarrassed. Misty Meow was surprised because what Lu Qi said made sense. But she did feel a little embarrassed. Ahaha. Then let's not talk about it anymore. Now that you've made your decision, your troubles no longer exist. I'm happy for you. A smile appeared on Lu Qi's face. Lin Piaomiao knew that it was difficult for Lu Qi to smile. In front of her, there was no such thing as an iron face. In front of others, Lu Qi was the iron face and emotionless disciplinary elder. I wonder when that bastard Night's sorrow will be able to meet the city lord's requirements. It won't be easy for him to survive the Nirvana tide. It's too difficult for him to become an imperial emperor in such a short time. Hurry up and come back. Perhaps something good is waiting for you, Lu Qi said as he sipped his tea. This bastard already has several wives. Lin Piaomiao said. At this moment, Night's sorrow had also become a bastard in her eyes because Night's sorrow had already disturbed her state of mind. Several? Then one more won't matter. Lu Qi's words were very direct. Lin Piaomiao didn't say anything. If she continued, who knew what this wise Lu Qi would say that would make her feel embarrassed. Night's sorrow had been nervously cultivating every day. With the help of the clear sky pagoda and the ability to seize the fortune of heaven and earth, he always maintained a clear mind. His comprehension of the power of heaven and earth was very fast. His mastery of the space-time domain was improving. The nihility domain and destruction domain were also improving. Why was it the destruction domain? Because Night's sorrow had cultivated the destruction battle intent before his destruction will had reached perfection. The moment he comprehended the power of heaven and earth, he formed the destruction domain. Of course, his mastery was still very shallow. While his main body was cultivating, Night Sorrow's two clones were quickly deducing the domain fusion. The nihility spacetime domain gradually took shape, and it only took half a year. Night Sorrow's combat strength was also rapidly increasing. Every time after deducing the domain fusion, Night Sorrow would test the domain's power in actual combat. _Xing, version ZA first released the difference between the nihility spacetime domain and the spacetime domain was that it changed from a defensive and supportive type to both offensive and defensive type. The spacetime domain's support was speed, movement and attack speed. Its defense was to slow down the opponent's attack speed. Its spatial overlap was to reduce the opponent's attack strength. The nihility spacetime domain had a suppressive effect. After the domain shook, the energy in the area it enveloped would become aggressive. It was a large-scale attack and weakening effect. With the help of the light of virtue, Night Sorrow's domain had already become a level 3 mutated domain. Its suppression of negative attributes was even stronger. It had a powerful weakening effect. Night Sorrow was very satisfied with his comprehension. He even looked forward to whether he could return when Demon Throat came knocking on his door half a year later. Confidence. Night Sorrow never lacked confidence in himself. After 2.5 years, Night Sorrow's strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. It was the same for his image. His battle robe was already damaged in many places, and he was barefoot. He looked like a young master who had run away from home. The main reason was that Night Sorrow wasn't prepared in this regard. He didn't care about this in an area where there were few people. Every time she watched Night Sorrow in the divination scene with the other human sect elders, Lin Piaomia's heart ached. Night Sorrow shouldn't have to endure this. It was all Bai Chunyuan's fault. Her killing intent towards Bai Chunyuan grew stronger and stronger. He's already a level 3 domain. His other domain is also in its embryonic form. It looks like he will first attain a level 4 domain before becoming an imperial lord, said Qin Xinjie. For the past 2 years, the human sect elders had been paying attention to Night Sorrow's situation. Every time the divination master performed a divination, most of the human sect elders would come to watch. Therefore, everyone knew about Night Sorrow's situation. Everyone nodded in agreement with Qin Xinjie's opinion. It took a long time for an emperor to become an imperial lord. It required constant comprehension and deduction of the world's momentum. Each step was harder than the last. Currently, Night Sorrow's third attribute domain had already taken shape. It could even be said that he could fuse it now. However, everyone knew that Night Sorrow wouldn't do so. Under normal circumstances, ordinary Emperor Realm cultivators would cultivate one attribute first. When it was difficult to improve, or when their potential was exhausted, they would choose to study other attributes to increase the power of their domain. This kind of research could even be said to not be able to cultivate a domain. After all, talent was limited. The compatibility between attributes and oneself wasn't high. Cultivating to the Emperor Realm to form a domain was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, at level 8, with willpower, one could fuse with a domain. However, in terms of power, it would be different from a fully formed domain. There would be flaws, and the level wouldn't be the same. In terms of power, it would be different from a perfect fusion. Night Sorrow's fusion of 2 domains was a perfect domain advancement. Although this bastard is a little slow, he's taking the most correct path. Commander Lin, if you have time, please remind him not to take the wrong path. Otherwise, the gains won't make up for the losses, said Emperor Tang. Chapter 1723. In these 2 years, Night Sorrow's 2 doppelgangers had been trying their best to fuse their domains, but his main body's comprehension of domains was also very effective. 1 year after entering Infinite Wasteland domain, Yishang had perfected his domain of nothingness and entered the Emperor Realm. He had comprehended 15% of his domain of time and space. In the following 1.5 years, with the help of the Clear Sky Pagoda, Yishang had cultivated for close to 50 years. With the help of the Clear Sky Pagoda, Night Sorrow's mind was always clear. His comprehension of the spacetime domain had reached 18%. At the late stage of the one-star Emperor realm, his comprehension of the spacetime domain had also reached 12%. His comprehension of the destruction domain was also not bad, reaching 40%. If he was in Misty Imperial Court or Star Moon Lake, Night Sorrow wouldn't have to work so hard. But now, he had to. If he didn't work hard, he wouldn't be able to step on the path home. On this day, Night Sorrow was moving forward. Suddenly, he felt that something was wrong because the environment around him was repeating. He had fallen into an array. This caused Night Sorrow's heart to jump. For him to unknowingly fall into an array, what level was this array? The images that his soul force detected were all fake. They were all the same things that were going back and forth. Even his soul force detection was ineffective. Night Sorrow calmed down. There had to be a reason for this. It was either an opportunity or a crisis. Since the detection was fake, Night Sorrow withdrew his soul force detection to prevent illusions from interfering with his judgment. Night Sorrow sat down cross-legged and began to sense the changes in the energy around him. The key to the operation of an array was the energy circulation path. Night Sorrow wanted to analyze what kind of array it was. Was it the work of the ancient sages of humanity? Was it an array set up by the devil-winged race? Or was it a natural array? However, Night Sorrow knew that he had gotten himself into trouble. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. Lin Piaomiao, who was overseeing Misty Imperial City's City Lord Mansion, pondered for a moment before coming to Night Moon Manor. Datura was currently staying in the Night Moon Manor because he had businesses to manage. In addition, the god-slaying team was also in the Night Moon Manor. Of course, the one who arrived at the Night Moon Villa was Lin Xianer and not Lin Piaomiao. Lin Xianer and Datura sat in the pavilion drinking tea. Big Sister Xian, did something happen to Night Sorrow? Seeing that Lin Xian did not speak, Datura was a little anxious. No, although Night Sorrow's days have been a little tough, everything is fine. I do have some things, but I don't know how to say them. Let me calm down for a while and organize my words, Lin Xian said. It's fine as long as Night Sorrow is fine. Sister Xian, if there's anything you need, feel free to tell me. Datura filled the teacup in front of Lin Xian, It's like this, I've encountered a tribulation. If I don't resolve it, a flaw will appear in my mental state. Lin Xian, looked at Datura. Sister Xian, please tell me. I'll see if I can help you, although the possibility is very small. Datura's expression changed. She knew that Lin Xian, was the ethereal combat emperor, the top of the celestial demon list. Now that she had encountered a tribulation, it was a big problem. It's a choice between the emotional path and the heartless path. Either resolve the problem, or be heartless and cut off all feelings. Lin Xian looked at Datura and said. Sister Xian, you. Datura looked at Lin Xian, with some surprise. She somewhat understood. She was a warlord of the world of reincarnation. Since Lin Xian said this in front of her, she naturally understood. You're right, it's like this. I've lived for half an era. My family is only an ordinary one in the celestial realm. We've always been facing war. I've seen the ancestors of my family often fall in protecting the family. I swear that as long as I'm alive, I'll dominate the world and become a peerless empress. For this dream, my world only has the word cultivation. As my family members disappeared one after another in the long river of time, I became numb. I've even been in a daze. The world has no color, it's just black and white. I have no friends, only a family member. Song Ning and I gradually drifted apart. I originally thought that this would continue, but it wasn't like that. After giving Datura a definite answer, Lin Xian, stood up and muttered to herself. Datura was a little stunned. This news was like a bomb. I'm not sure when it started. Perhaps it started when Qing Yan and the other children called me aunt, or when I often saw the diviners in the heavenly desolate city. If he's not doing well, I'll be heartbroken. If he's in danger, I'll be worried. After saying this, Lin Xian closed her eyes. She wanted to hear what Datura had to say. If Datura didn't like it and the beginning didn't go well, then she would choose another path. She couldn't do something like being jealous. Sister Xian, have a seat. Listen to me first. Datura nodded to Lin Xian, Lin Xian, lifted her skirt and sat down. When it comes to love, no one can control it. Night Sorrow currently has 5 wives. I'm the last one. In fact, at the beginning, my methods weren't honorable. I even forced him, so I didn't have the right to speak. Night Sorrow, let's not talk about him first. Even if he has strong feelings in his heart, he will restrain himself. He respects the opinions of his family members. And in our Yi family, the one who has the biggest impact on this matter is Chu Yu. Although no one said it, and she doesn't have a real status, Chu Yu is Night Sorrow's first woman. She is recognized as the legal wife by everyone. Yang Lei, Aoi, and Xueshi all respect her. Datura said. Not his parents? Lin Xian asked. No. Father and mother don't care about these things. The Yi family's ancestors have always been monogamous. Father dislikes this, but he definitely won't refute mother's words. Mother naturally wants to have a lot of children and grandchildren. Datura said. At this moment, she realized that being a woman of the Yi family was very fortunate. No matter how strong the men of the Yi family were outside, at home, the women had the final say. So it's like this. What about you? What do you think? Lin Xian asked. No. I'm not a petty woman. Datura said with a smile. The first stage went smoothly. It was as depressing as a big battle. Lin Xian said with a sigh. Sister Xian is nervous too. Datura felt strange. She didn't dislike Night Sorrow having another woman because Night Sorrow loved her enough. However, she also felt a little sad. However, she couldn't say this because Lin Xian had helped Night Sorrow a lot. It was a natural feeling, much purer than her feelings in the past. Yes. It's not wrong to pursue your own happiness, but we are friends. This is a betrayal of friends. I don't want to lose you as a friend. Lin Xian said. No, I'll talk to Chu Yu, Yang Lei, Aoi, and Xueshi later. I won't talk to Night Sorrow for the time being. This matter has been decided by Chu Yu and the others. It's almost a done deal. Datura said. Although she felt a little sad, she didn't want to make things difficult for Lin Xian. Lin Xian's words resonated strongly with her. Although she was a peerless empress, her heart was lonely and it wasn't easy. Chapter 1724. From the point of view of protecting your feelings, I won't refute your idea because the answer you got from Night Sorrow was definitely rejection. He cares about his wife's happiness the most and doesn't want to make her unhappy, Datura said. Then why are you telling me? Lin Xian asked. Because I love him and hope that everything will go well for him. You can help him even more, Datura said. Is your love very noble? Lin Xian looked at Datura and her heart was shaken. She even felt that she was a little shameless. If you really love him, you would be the same. Let's change the topic. How is Night Sorrow now? Datura asked about Night Sorrow's situation. Lin Xian told Datura about Night Sorrow's current situation. By Qiu Yuan, that bastard. He tricked Night Sorrow. This matter isn't over yet. Datura's face was full of murderous intent. She was almost done refining Datura Chinensis's source energy and could enter the Emperor realm at any time. Ah Luo, you don't have to worry about this. The law enforcement elder of the human race looked for me and asked me not to do anything for the time being and wait for Night Sorrow to return. I will take care of him, Lin Xian'er said. But there is one more question. You are the ethereal battle empress Lin Piaomiao. Is it appropriate for me to still call you Sister Xian'er? Datura asked. In front of my friends, I am Lin Xian'er. I will have to trouble you to help me with some things. I will go to the 9-domain world to look for Night Sorrow and ask him about his cultivation problems. The law enforcement elder of the Tianhuang city doesn't want him to take the wrong path, Lin Xian'er said. Alright, go ahead. Datura nodded. Lin Xian'er left and Datura slapped her forehead. She knew that she really had to help. First of all, she could empathize with Lin Xian'er's situation. She couldn't make things difficult for Lin Xian'er. Besides having one more person in the family, it wasn't a big deal. If he refused, it would be the same as hurting Lin Xian'er. That would be too heartless. Lin Xian'er arrived at the teleportation array but was unable to teleport because Night Sorrow had restricted the use of the teleportation array. Sensing Lin Xian'er's aura, Night Sorrow's clone in the heaven-sealing Great Hall let her through. Night Sorrow went to the tea house next to the city lord's mansion to wait. A moment later, Lin Xian'er arrived at the tea house and sat opposite Night Sorrow. Sister Xian is here. The tea is ready. Night Sorrow pointed at the teapot in front of him. You seem to be in a pretty good condition. Lin Xian'er looked at Night Sorrow, her heart feeling a little different. Not bad. Night Sorrow nodded with a smile. After that, Lin Xian'er told Night Sorrow a little about the key points of domain fusion. She told Night Sorrow that no matter how difficult it was now, he could not casually carry out domain fusion, because the fusion between Emperor-grade domains was perfect. These bastards, they actually used divination to watch me? Then they should know that I scolded them. I don't care, they have already exiled me, what can they do to me? When I come back, I will go back to Starmoon City to be the city lord and the domain master of the 9-domain world. Sister Xian'er, if you have nothing to do, come over and have tea with me. Night Sorrow said. Then can I live in Sky City in the 9-domain world in the future? Lin Xian'er asked with a smile. You are most welcome. Night Sorrow nodded. That's good. If your family and your wife don't mind, I will go. Alright, I will go back first. Lin Xian'er stood up. You're in such a hurry. Yi Shan also stood up. What's wrong? Could it be that you can't bear to let Sister Xian'er go? Lin Xian'er turned around and looked at Night Sorrow as she threw out a sentence. Night Sorrow was stunned and his face turned red. Sister Xian'er, help me find some high-level array diagrams. Night Sorrow called out to Lin Xian'er, who was about to enter the teleportation array. Zheng's S edition, Lin Xian'er nodded at Night Sorrow and smiled again. Then, she entered the teleportation array and left the 9-domain world. Datura also returned. After greeting Night Sorrow, he returned to Sky City and called Sikong Chuyu and the others for a family meeting. Yi Qingyan and Yi Nianxiao were also present. Datura couldn't persuade them to leave. All right. You two listen in, but it's best if you don't express any opinions. Chuyu, you two should make the decision on this matter. Datura said. Aunt Aluo, what's the matter? Why are you being so mysterious? Yi Qingyan leaned on the table and asked Datura. That's right. What's the matter? You want the sisters-in-law to sit together and discuss? Could it be that my brother has a mistress outside? You want to sit together and judge? That must be it. Why don't you let me and Qingyan listen? Yi Nianxiao said. Don't talk nonsense. You don't understand your brother's world at all. However, this matter is indeed related to a woman. Datura said. 13 shouldn't? Yang Lei frowned. He doesn't know about this matter. Datura shook his head and then told her about Lin Xian'er. Father is so overbearing now. Isn't Aunt Shienner the #1 on the celestial realm celestial demon list? Is it because my father hangs out with her every day? Father hasn't returned to Sky City for nearly 3 years. Yi Qingyan muttered after a moment of surprise. Nonsense. You don't know what your father has been enduring for the past 3 years. Datura glared at Yi Qingyan. She wouldn't allow Yi Qingyan to not understand Night Sorrow's situation. Big Sister Luo, did something happen to Night Sorrow? Sikong Chuyu stood up. She knew that Datura wouldn't say this for no reason. Night Sorrow didn't want you to worry, so he didn't want me to say anything. It seems that I can't hide it anymore. Let's talk about it. He was exiled by the human race's sect elder and is no longer in the celestial realm. Datura sighed and then told them everything that had happened in the past 2.5 years. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have doubted my father. Yi Qingyan's eyes reddened. Big Sister Shienner is our friend. There's nothing between her and Night Sorrow. She also helped Night Sorrow without holding back. Datura said. Is she sincere enough? Yang Lei asked. Yes. She's the peerless empress of the celestial realm. She wouldn't be able to tell me this without great courage. In addition, Night Sorrow and our Xingyue Lake family have taken great care of him. Sikong Chuyu said. Chuyu, you don't have any objections? Yang Lei looked at Sikong Chuyu and asked. If a bad woman wants to marry into our family, I definitely won't agree. However, Lin Xian'er obviously isn't one. She can live alone for countless years. Her moral integrity is definitely not a problem. 6th senior sister, 9th senior sister, Sister Shueshi, what do you think? Sikong Chuyu looked at the others and asked. I don't care. I'm going to see 13 now. He's suffered again. Yang Lei's eyes were filled with tears. Don't go yet. Night Sorrow just doesn't want everyone to worry. Datura pulled Yang Lei, who had stood up, to sit down beside him. I don't object. In fact, the main difficulty lies with 13. He values our family very much and cares about our feelings. Therefore, it's very likely that he will refuse. Aoi thought for a moment and said. Chapter 1725. That's right. That's too cruel. What do you think, Shueshi? Sikong Chuyu looked at Shueshi. I have no objections. As long as it doesn't affect the harmony of the family, everything is fine, Shueshi said. It seems that you've reached a consensus, Sikong Chuyu said. Auntie, are you ignoring my father's opinion? Yi Qingyan looked at Sikong Chuyu and asked. Are you stupid? Your father is very close to her. We don't know if he likes her or not, but he wouldn't hate her, right? So that's how it is. Sister Luo, do as you see fit. Sikong Chuyu made the decision. Father has taken all the good women in the world, Yi Qingyan said, pursing her lips. If you say any more nonsense, I'll slap you, Aoi said, waving her hand. However, Yi Qingyan just stuck out her tongue. After sending Lin Xian'er off, Yi Shang's clone in the heaven-sealing Great Hall went back to cultivate. He had been cultivating intensely recently. It was only when Lin Xian'er had come that the teleportation crystal had reacted that he had come out of the heaven-sealing Great Hall. Sikong Chuyu and the others didn't see Night Sorrow when they arrived at 9 Region City. Datura had taken the teleportation array to the celestial realm. Sikong Chuyu and the others could only wait for Night Sorrow to come out of seclusion before discussing the matter. After returning to the Night Moon Villa, Datura saw Lin Xian'er. Lin Xian'er was sitting in the waterside pavilion of the Night Moon Villa, but she was a little distracted. Sister Xian'er, you're really distracted, Datura said. A little. It's mainly because I've never experienced something in the past, so I'm a little confused, Lin Xian'er said. I went back and told them. They were very generous and didn't reject you. They were willing to accept you. However, We didn't see Night's Sorrow when we arrived at 9 Region City, Datura said. Ah Luo, it's been hard on you. I'm the one who wants to steal your man, yet I still need your help. Lin Xian'er sighed. Originally, in this world, it was men who chased after women relentlessly. However, things have changed when it comes to us. Our conditions and looks aren't bad, right? But you insisted on delivering yourself to him. I did it, and so did you. It's all Ye's fault, Datura said with a smile. You say that, but your face is full of happiness. Is little Luo still cultivating with his master? Lin Xian'er asked. Datura nodded. Yes, the children at home are all running around. But as long as they don't leave the Chaos Realm, there should be no problem with their safety. I'm very envious of you. When I saw your harmonious family during Night Sorrow's coronation ceremony, I was very envious. There is almost no such complete and harmonious family in the celestial realm. Lin Xian'er was very happy because it was relatively smooth. To her, this matter was like fighting a war, or even more difficult than fighting a war. I fought for it. At that time, I felt that it was time for marriage, so I tricked Night Sorrow. Datura smiled and told her about his relationship with Night Sorrow. Without courage, how can you get happiness? Lin Xian'er looked at Datura and said. She felt that Datura's situation was similar to hers. Actually, Night Sorrow is also a sentimental person, but he will hide it. If he likes me in his heart, he will not say it. Would you believe me if I said that he had no feelings for me at that time? Datura said with a smile. He definitely has feelings for you. Lin Xian'er nodded. Yes, but he is very strict with himself. He wants to be a good husband and doesn't want to disappoint his family. Datura said his evaluation of Night Sorrow. I understand. Don't worry about Night Sorrow's situation. If there is any danger, I will go and find him. Lin Xian'er nodded at Datura. He will be your man in the future. You decide for yourself. Datura directly left the matter of Night Sorrow to Lin Xian'er. Lin Xian'er left and returned to the city lord's mansion. After thinking for a while, she felt that she should marry Tsang off first. The Lin Xian'er who had put on the veil was Lin Piaomiao. She sent someone to summon Wufeng and Tsang to the city lord's residence. The meeting place was Tsang courtyard in the city lord's mansion. Greetings to the War Emperor. Wufeng and Tsang cupped their hands and bowed. I'm meeting you here to discuss private matters. Wufeng, isn't it inappropriate for you to be like this? As a man, if you don't speak, you'll make Tsang wait? Lin Xian'er went straight to the point. Wufeng and Tsang were stunned by Lin Xian'er's words. Miss. Tsang wanted to explain on behalf of Wufeng but was interrupted by Lin Xian'er. Don't say anything. Let him speak today. My lord, it's like this. Wufeng is suffering from the cold poison and is not suitable for marriage. As soon as the problem is solved, I will propose marriage. Wufeng said. Cold poison. That's not a problem. When Night Sorrow enters the Merit Emperor realm, he can help you deal with the cold poison at any time. Within 3 days, I will wait for your proposal at the city lord's mansion. There's no rush to get married. Let's settle it first. Tsang be more reserved. Lin Xian'er made a series of decisions. The main reason was that her mood was unstable today. Because she was no longer reserved, she vented her anger on Wufeng and Tsang. Wufeng understands. I'll take my leave. Wufeng bowed and left the courtyard. Tsang, stop right there. What's wrong? It's as if our Lin family's women can't get married. Lin Xian'er shouted at Tsang who was about to leave. Tsang stood there obediently. But after glancing at Lin Xian'er, he turned his head away. We're the only 2 women in the Lin family. You're not even married yet. What are you saying? If you want to speak, speak louder. I'll marry you off first, then talk about me. I'll work hard to marry myself off. Lin Xian'er said. Miss, what did you just say? Tsang Ning didn't hear it clearly. You want to marry yourself off? You still need to work hard? Tsang Ning rubbed his ears hard. Seeing you annoys me. Hurry up and leave. Lin Xian'er chased him away. After leaving the courtyard, Tsang Ning looked at the lintel of the courtyard and realized that this was his courtyard. But he was the one being chased out. He rubbed his ears again to make sure he didn't hear wrong. But he didn't understand what was going on. After pondering for a moment, Tsang Ning left. I'm going to get married anyway. It doesn't matter if I'm reserved or not. It's all the same. Knight Sorrow was still training every day to increase his battle strength. He had researched and evolved the heaven-covering hand into two forms. One was the heaven-covering hand of nothingness. Under the attack of a huge energy palm, anything that couldn't withstand the attack would be annihilated. It was extremely domineering. The other form was the heaven-covering hand of glass. It used the light of virtue to activate the strength of the body. When the palm struck out, the energy palm was like glass, filled with a mighty aura. Chapter 1726. Knight Sorrow's clone was still trapped in the array. Even the teleportation array disc had lost its effectiveness. Due to the interference of the array, the teleportation array disc and the teleportation array could not be used. Knight Sorrow knew that it would be difficult to get out without breaking the array. However, he had never even heard of this array before, let alone seen it. How could he break it? He could only study it slowly and wait for Lin Xian'er to find some array diagrams for him to cultivate. Knight Sorrow's heart trembled when he thought of Lin Xian'er's words after she left. Lin Xian'er, who had a slight blush on her face, was so beautiful that it made one's heart tremble. At that moment, the fortune teller in the Tianhuang city began to perform the divination again. Many human clan elders came to watch, and even the Grand Elder came. When they noticed Knight Sorrow's situation, everyone was stunned. What's going on? Elder Zhai Xing asked. He's trapped by the array, Gu Qi said. He was an Imperial Master Blacksmith and naturally an Imperial Master Array Dao, so he could tell. Knight Sorrow moved around and threw spirit stones around, trying to change the structure of the array and make it lose its effectiveness. However, 2 hours passed and he threw out 2,000 Saint Spirit stones, but the array was still working. Knight Sorrow leaned against a tree and rested. He could only wait for Lin Xian'er's array diagram. The array of one of our human clan's giants. The coiling dragon's silver spear in the Grand Elder's hand trembled. Can you confirm whose array it is? Gu Qi can't tell, Gu Qi said. The former unparalleled Sword Emperor, Yan Wushuang's unparalleled array, the Grand Elder said. The unparalleled Sword Emperor, Yan Wushuang, was recorded in the ancient records. After failing to pass the tribulation of the 7 emperors, his life source was destroyed. At the last stage of his life, he killed a demon wing prince and finally died? Lu Qi looked at the Grand Elder. Yes, the array that Knight Sorrow is trapped in is the unparalleled Sword Emperor's unparalleled array. That was a peak level 9 array formation, Knight Sorrow would not be able to break it. 7th Elder, there is a supreme formation diagram in the library of the godly capital. Commander Lin, think of a way to contact Knight Sorrow and give this diagram to him. Even though it will be hard for him to study a top-level formation diagram with his cultivation, this is something that can't be helped. It all depends on his own abilities. If you are slow in your research, you should stay in there for a longer period of time to settle down, the Grand Elder said. Lu Qi nodded. Since the Grand Elder had said so, he could only follow the Grand Elder's wishes. Because the peerless Sword Emperor failed his tribulation, he was in a hurry and didn't leave anything for us humans. Now that Knight Sorrow has found the remains of the peerless Sword Emperor, this might be an opportunity, the Grand Elder said. Because he had fallen into a predicament, the image froze, and the clairvoyant stopped his divination. The Grand Elder nodded at Lu Qi and Lin Piaomiao, then went to the small space world he was residing in. This matter is very big because it involves a supreme treasure of the human race. If the peerless Sword Emperor died in Mount Tianhuang, then the supreme treasure will either be taken away by the Demon Wing clan or it will be in the array formation Night Sorrow is in, the Grand Elder said. The human emperor's seal? Lin Piaomiao asked the Grand Elder. That's right, one of the supreme treasures of the human race, the human emperor's seal. The Grand Elder nodded. In that case, Grand Elder, let's bring the array Emperor Master over and break the array formation to look for it, Lu Qi said. No, the peerless Sword Emperor died countless years ago, and there has been no news of him for countless years. This time, the supreme formation appeared because of Night Sorrow. If we interfere, fate will be messed up, and it will be hard to say if the human emperor's seal will appear, the Grand Elder shook his head and said. But such a high-level array formation isn't something Night Sorrow can figure out in a short time, Lin Piaomiao said. That's why I asked you to come here. I want you to take the diagram of the unparalleled formation and find a way to explain it to Yi Shang so that he can understand the unparalleled formation as soon as possible, said the Great Elder. Lin Piaomiao thought for a moment and nodded. She had to accept this task. If she couldn't break the array formation, Night Sorrow's clone would be trapped forever. Then, Lu Qi and Lin Piaomiao left the Grand Elder's space world. My original body has already rushed over from God's capital with the diagram. This is a chance for you, you have to grasp it. Lu Qi said with a smile. Lin Piaomiao's expression was a little unnatural. She understood what Lu Qi meant. At the same time, her clone was also rushing over to Mount Tianhuang. When her clone arrived, Lu Qi's diagram would also be sent over. Because he couldn't understand it, Night Sorrow didn't waste any time and began to cultivate his battle skills while waiting for Lin Xian to find news of the array formation. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation 2 days later, Lin Piaomiao's original body returned to Misty Imperial City while her clone stayed in Mount Tianhuang to handle matters. Lin Piaomiao went to Night Moon Villa and told Datura about Night Sorrow's current predicament. Then let's go together. Datura was a little anxious when he heard that Night Sorrow was in trouble. When Lin Piaomiao approached the teleportation array, Night Sorrow stopped cultivating. This was the benefit of having the teleportation crystal recognize its owner. If someone with a higher cultivation wanted to teleport, he would immediately be alerted. Sensing Lin Piaomiao's aura, Night Sorrow directly let her pass and went to the tea house to wait. Datura and Lin Piaomiao arrived at the tea house and Night Sorrow was waiting for them. Seeing the two of them, Night Sorrow was very happy. I was feeling depressed and came over. Let's not drink tea today, let's drink. Let's talk about drinking later. Sister Xian has something important to discuss with you. Datura said. Lin Xian handed a beast skin book to Night Sorrow. This is the diagram of the array that trapped you. Take a look at it first. If it doesn't work, I'll guide you for a few days. When interacting with others, she was the Misty Battle Emperor Lin Piaomiao. But in front of Night Sorrow and Datura, she was willing to be the simple Lin Xian. Diagram of the array? Night Sorrow was stunned. Yes, the diagram of the array. A very important diagram. That array was left behind by the human race's unparalleled Sword Emperor. In addition, at the place where he fell, it is very likely that the human race's treasure, the human emperor's seal, is located. Lin Xian didn't hide anything from Night Sorrow and directly told him everything that the Grand Elder had said. The human emperor's seal, this shouldn't have anything to do with the human emperor of our chaotic realm, right? Night Sorrow looked at Datura. Of course not. The human emperor of our world of samsara wasn't even an emperor realm back then. His life experience and experience are also not up to par. The difference is too great. Datura shook his head. It shouldn't be related. Sister Xian, I can't understand that array. I've tried a few times but I have no clue at all. If Sister Xian has nothing to do, please guide me. My doppelganger is tightly trapped. Night Sorrow said. He was troubled by this matter. No problem. I'm fine now. Lin Xian nodded. Chapter 1727. What are you thinking about? Lin Xian asked when she saw that Datura was in a daze. Datura turned around and looked at Lin Xian. Then, he smiled at Lin Xian and used his soul to communicate with her. After hearing Datura's words, Lin Xian blushed and reached out to pinch Datura's face. You're too naughty and your mouth is too vicious. Because Mandela had said 8 words, they had hit it off immediately and they had become adulterers. Datura got up and ran while Lin Xian chased after him. Night Sorrow was puzzled. What was going on? Why were they so close? After fooling around for a while, Lin Xian and Datura returned and sat opposite Night Sorrow. Sister Xian Luo, one of you is the ethereal battle emperor of the celestial realm and the other is the dark ruler of the dark abyss of the world of samsara. You guys are fooling around. Am I seeing things? Night Sorrow said. So what? We are also humans and have emotions and desires. It's tiring to put up a dignified front in front of others. When there's no one around, we can live happily. Datura said. That makes sense. There aren't many people who can accept it. Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, you have to work hard and come back soon. Datura looked at Night Sorrow and said. It's difficult. Without the cultivation of an emperor and a level 4 domain, there's no hope of surviving the tide of nirvana. Night Sorrow took a sip of tea and said. What realm are you at now? Datura looked at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't hide it from anyone and told them about his current situation. You're saying that the spacetime attribute isn't far from a level 2 emperor and your domain is already a level 3 domain? Datura asked in surprise. That's right. However, it's still impossible to cultivate to level 2 emperor. I have a battle soon and after that, I'll have to change my cultivation location. The last battle with Demon Throat was a gentleman's battle. The next battle will be a battle of life and death. If I kill him, the demon-winged clan will definitely capture me. Night Sorrow said. Night Sorrow, that Demon Throat is a royal of the demon-winged clan. If you have the chance, kill him. That's a merit. Lin Xian said. Sister Xian, it's very slow to earn merits this way. You might not even have any merits at all. This is a competition between races. I do have merits for the human race, but not for the heavenly realm. If a merit pseudo-emperor wants to break through to the merit emperor realm, he needs merits for the heavenly realm and millions of living beings. It's already good enough that I didn't lose any merits from killing the demon-winged clan, Yishan explained. So that's how it is. Then how are you going to break through? This experience won't help you at all. Lin Xian frowned. This was different from what she had expected. Merit can't be forced. Just be yourself and let nature take its course. However, I have a hunch that I won't be far from Emperor. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow's other wives had also arrived at 9 Region City. ZM new $most, unspecified currency fast D. Top percent seeing Sikong Chuyu and the others, Lin Xian nodded and greeted them. Sikong Chuyu and the others were also very polite. Apart from Night Sorrow, Sikong Chuyu and the others knew what was going on. When he was done studying formations, Yi Shang would make tea, wash fruits, and serve his wives comfortably. Night Sorrow, you don't have any status at home? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Why would I need status at home? Night Sorrow was stunned. Aren't you the head of the family? I've seen many families where the men are very domineering. Lin Xian said. Maybe. But that's not the life I want. That's because I don't understand enough. Night Sorrow shook his head. Night Sorrow's understanding of the family is not comparable to ordinary people. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. Night Sorrow, tell me about your understanding. Lin Xian Er was very curious about Night Sorrow's understanding of the family and his wives. Then let's talk about the relationship between husband and wife first. Before Chuyu married me, she was the treasure of the Sikong family. Ninth senior sister and sixth senior sister were also the pearls of the Medicine Valley. She was also in charge of a family. Needless to say, Alua was a duke in the world of samsara. They had never suffered or been wronged. After coming to the Yi family, I had to take care of the family, take care of my husband and children, and be filial to my parents-in-law. They gave me a beautiful life. What reason do I have to pursue status at home? Not to mention making tea and pouring water, it's not a big deal even if I have to serve them water to wash their feet. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Night Sorrow, don't talk about it. We're all very good now. It's just that you've been wronged and have to work hard outside. Sikong Chuyu's eyes were red. She had always thought that she understood Night Sorrow very well. Now she understood that Night Sorrow's feelings were something she had never understood before. You gave the best years of your life to me, to your family, and to your children. What's wrong with me? Night Sorrow hugged Sikong Chuyu and patted Sikong Chuyu's back. This is the deepest understanding of life and the deepest sublimation of emotions. Lin Xian was deeply touched. Night Sorrow's thoughts were the opposite of the thoughts of most men in the celestial realm. However, his feelings were so real. Lin Xian was not the only one who was deeply touched. Even the eyes of the few women who had been married to Night Sorrow for a long time turned red. What's wrong with you all? I said something wrong. I won't say such things in the future. Night Sorrow hurriedly apologized. 13. If these words were to spread, you would become the idol of all women and the nemesis of all men. Yang Lei sat beside Night Sorrow. How could that be? These are my thoughts and not anyone else's. Night Sorrow muttered. The understanding of the virtuous half-emperor is indeed different. Even the concept of home is different. Perhaps in the future, everyone's worldview will change because your worldview is correct and will affect the worldview of the people around you. Lin Xian said. She knew that she had made the right choice. This was the kind of family she wanted to join. Chuyu, our daughter is going to get married. You have to watch over her carefully. Tell those with bad character to scram. Don't have any ideas about our daughter. When a son marries a wife, character is also the most important. I don't ask for any other good qualities, but narrow-mindedness is not allowed. I don't want the family to be in chaos in the future. Night Sorrow said to Sikong Chuyu. There are so many children. The concubines will take care of them. You should worry about whether any of the women in the Yi family will dare to marry them. Sikong Chuyu said with a smile. What are you talking about? Our daughter won't be able to get married? Then as a father, I will treat them like treasures and raise them for the rest of their lives. Night Sorrow muttered. Night Sorrow's words made Sikong Chuyu and the others turn their noses up. Night Sorrow was too pampering and spoiling his children. Night Sorrow, you have to find a way to enter the virtuous half-emperor realm as soon as possible. Wufeng will soon propose marriage to Tsang Ning, but his body has the cold poison. Even if he marries, there won't be any children. Once you enter the virtuous half-emperor realm, you can help him resolve it. Lin Xian said. Chapter 1728. I'll take care of it. You should study formations with Sister Xian Er first. Come back soon with your clone. There's something good waiting for you. We'll get you a beautiful wife, Datura said with a smile. You still have such thoughts. All right. I'll be waiting. Night Sorrow said with a laugh. He really didn't think too much about it and thought that Datura was joking. Night Sorrow continued to study formations. Datura thought about preparing an engagement gift for Wufeng and Song Ning, but he couldn't think of anything suitable. Wufeng and Song Ning didn't lack anything. Big Brother and Old Song don't lack anything. Then let's give them a stable and comfortable life. Give them a mansion in 9 Regions City. Night Sorrow made a decision. 13. The stability of 9 Regions world is the most important thing. I don't recommend you do that, Aoi said. Big Brother Wufeng and Old Song are fine. They're not outsiders. Night Sorrow looked at Aoi and said. Aoi, don't worry. I can guarantee that, Lin Xian said. Okay, I understand. Sister Xian don't mind it. 9 Regions world is our home. Our family, lovers, and children are all here. We have to be careful, Aoi said. 6th senior sister, I'll be careful. Night Sorrow nodded. Night Sorrow, Celestial Sect still has designs on Star Moon Lake. A war between factions is inevitable in the future. Someone saw Ling Tian's figure in the city that World Edge Pavilion gave us, Datura said. Damn it. When I come back, I'll kill him immediately. Hearing the name Ling Tian, Night Sorrow was furious. Ling Tian had brought great trouble to World of Reincarnation. Senior brother went, but Ling Tian escaped. Senior brother killed Ling Ju, Datura said. At most 6 new V chapter, section 2-inch. This is too risky. If Ling Tian still has a puppet, senior brother will be in danger. Night Sorrow said worriedly. There are some things you don't know. Right now, in the primal chaos realm, apart from you becoming an emperor and me refining Datura Chinensis's origin source, Blood Emperor Sandalwood's achievements are the highest. He has been a pseudo-emperor for some time now, so he doesn't need to change his title. Datura explains Sandalwood's situation. Eldest senior brother is so fierce? Night Sorrow looked at Datura in surprise. Yes. After spending 5 million years in prison and surviving 5 million years as a madman, he began his true rise, Datura said. Night Sorrow, what's with your senior brother being imprisoned for 5 million years? Lin Xian asked. Senior brother, you've suffered too much in the past. Yi Shang exhaled and told Lin Xian about Sandalwood's situation. Some cultivators will have to endure some twists and turns on the road to rise. If they can overcome some tribulations, they will soar to the sky. Your senior brother should be in this situation. The cultivators from other realms have a low starting point because they don't have high-level inheritances. However, they all have a strong point. The strong point that the disciples of the big clans and powers in the heaven realm are envious of is that they are good at combat. The name, Blood Emperor Sandalwood, sounds very domineering. It seems that you two have a very good relationship. However, that shouldn't be the case. You are so young, so you shouldn't have much interaction with him. Lin Xian said. Their relationship is very deep. Sandalwood doesn't have many ideals. First, he wants to be with his wife. Second, he wants to fight alongside Night Sorrow. If anyone hurts Night Sorrow, he will use his saber to reason with them. This is because he knows that without Night Sorrow, he wouldn't be where he is now. Datura explained the past between Night Sorrow and Sandalwood. When a person is lonely and helpless, the emotions they feel are unforgettable. Night Sorrow, why did you visit him at that time? Lin Xian asked. Master has only accepted 2 disciples in his life. Senior brother has no relatives. As his junior brother, I have the responsibility to take care of him. Night Sorrow thought back to the past and shook his head. The days passed peacefully. Night Sorrow worked hard to raise his cultivation level while his 2 doppelgangers studied and deduced formations. As she guided Night Sorrow on formations, Lin Xian agreed with Gu Qi's evaluation of Night Sorrow. Rough. Night Sorrow's formation cultivation in the past was too rough. This resulted in some of his formations being set up and broken, but there was also a benefit to it. He had a deep understanding of the basics. Lin Xian patiently imparted her knowledge of formations to Night Sorrow, starting from the basics. She pointed out all the flaws and mistakes that Night Sorrow had in the past. Sister Xian, what you imparted to me should be a high-level formation Tao inheritance. There shouldn't be any drawbacks, right? Night Sorrow asked. There are no drawbacks. Whether it's cultivation techniques or formations, I obtained them myself. I don't need to explain them to anyone. Of course, I won't impart anything that isn't suitable to you. Lin Xian said. Lin Xian was the top of the fiend god list. Her fighting ability was unparalleled. She was also a high-level formation Dao Emperor Master. Because of her tyrannical battle strength, she overshadowed the glory of being an Emperor Master. With Lin Xian's guidance, Night Sorrow's formation Dao cultivation soared because he already had a foundation. In order to buy time, Night Sorrow asked Datura to bring the clear sky pagoda over from the city in the sky. This way, he could cultivate formations in a time acceleration environment. Formations Dao was broad and profound. Night Sorrow received Lin Xian's guidance in the clear sky pagoda. 2 months had passed in the real world. Night Sorrow cultivated for 100 months in the clear sky pagoda under Lin Xian's guidance. After more than 8 years, he finally walked on the orthodox path of formation Dao cultivation. He also had some understanding of the unparalleled great formation left behind by the unparalleled Sword Emperor because he had the formation diagram in hand. Night Sorrow, you only know about the unparalleled battle formation. It's impossible to break it. However, with the formation diagram in hand, you can walk in and out of the formation without a problem. Tidy up and familiarize yourself with it. You can try to move in the unparalleled great formation and see if there are any opportunities. If you have the human emperor's seal, you can take it. Remember, no matter who wants it, even if it's a human race ancestor, you can't give it to them. That's a divine artifact of fate. Lin Xian said. Not giving it? Night Sorrow was stunned. Treasures belong to the virtuous. Why should I give it to them? If they have the ability, why don't they look for it themselves? They want to wait for a ready-made one? No way, Lin Xian said. They exiled me. I don't want to communicate with them anymore. In the future, if there's a war between the human race, I will do what I should do. However, don't force those lousy rules and ideas on me. I won't accept them. If I can return from Tianhuang smoothly, I will go to Star Moon Lake and live comfortably as the Overlord, Night Sorrow said. After all these years, Night Sorrow was a little tired. Chapter 1729. Night Sorrow did not say anything. He knew that Lin Xian was right. There were some things that would result in karma the moment one stepped in. Also, the elders of the human race are actually a group of people worthy of respect. This time, it was because of an individual black sheep. The great elder hoped that I would persuade you. At that time, I had no choice but to accept. Lin Xian said in a low voice. Is that so? Then I can't make things difficult for Sister Xian. We'll talk about it when the time comes. Sister Xian will arrange everything, but we won't do anything that will cause us to lose out, Night Sorrow said to Lin Xian. Thank you, Sister Xian, Lin Xian said. She originally thought that this matter would be difficult to handle, but she did not expect that Night Sorrow would not refuse once she opened her mouth. What are you thanking me for? Sister Xian, you won't cheat me, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Yes, Sister Xian will never cheat you in this life, Lin Xian looked at Night Sorrow and said seriously. Sister Xian, these words are too serious. Night Sorrow was stunned because Lin Xian's words were very serious. It could be said that it was a promise. And then try to walk around the peerless array. Although you can move around in the array, you still have to be careful. Some old demons have very heaven-defying methods. You also know about Guizu's situation, his methods are all linked together. In addition, I have to return to Ethereal City. That day, I asked Wu Feng to come to the City Lord's mansion to propose marriage 3 days later. I ran for more than 2 months and they still couldn't find me, Lin Xian'er reminded Night Sorrow and said with a smile. After Lin Xian'er left Nine Regions City, Night Sorrow also exited the Clear Sky Pagoda. He asked Datura, who was resting in the tea house next to the city lord's mansion, to bring the Clear Sky Pagoda replica back to Sky City. Night Sorrow, Sister Xian'er is very good to you. She is also alone, so marry her. Datura said. Ah Luo. Don't talk nonsense, Sister Xian will be angry if she hears it. Night Sorrow quickly interrupted Datura's words. She's not talking nonsense. Sikong Chuyu and the others came out of the tea house. What's wrong with you guys? Night Sorrow frowned. He knew that this wasn't a joke. After that, Datura told her about the conversation between Lin Xian'er and her. Do you remember that day when Big Sister Xian chased me and beat me up? Because I said something, the two of you hit it off and hooked up with each other. Datura explained the reason why she and Lin Xian'er had fought that day. That's not appropriate. It's not fair to you. We can't make you feel uncomfortable because of others, Night Sorrow said. I'm fine. She's a nice person. She doesn't have an overbearing aura when she's with us. It feels like we've known each other for a long time, Sikong Chuyu said. This has nothing to do with her being nice. I've already wronged you guys enough. Night Sorrow looked at his wives with guilt in his eyes. Rejection is hurt. Night Sorrow, we don't want to see Sister Xian or walk down the heartless path because of your rejection. Not to mention that she's outstanding, she's also a good person, Datura said. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. He suddenly felt a little lost. He couldn't say how he felt about Lin Xian'er, but he didn't want to hurt her. Without saying anything else, Night Sorrow turned and entered the heaven ceiling hall. He needed to think and calm down. Night Sorrow's clone that was trapped by the array formation in the heaven desolate mountain began to move. He already understood the unparalleled array formation. Although he couldn't break it, he could still avoid dangerous and murderous areas. There were still 3 months before the time he had agreed to meet Devil Throat. Night Sorrow had to fight with all his might. His doppelganger had to return if he could. His true body and doppelganger were together. That was his highest combat power. Night Sorrow was confident in himself, but he never underestimated any opponent. He also knew that Demon Throat wasn't simple. He was a member of the Demon Wing Imperial family. Last time, Demon Throat also didn't fight with all his strength. Night Sorrow was very careful as he advanced. This was the Heaven Desolate Mountain. It might be the place where a big shot of the human clan fell. Therefore, it was hard to say what would happen here. The unparalleled array formation covered a large area. Night Sorrow didn't even know when he stepped into the array formation. He didn't know how many miles he had advanced. He was currently walking towards the center of the array formation. The human clan's supreme treasure was lost. If there was a chance to find it, he had to find it. No matter who had the treasure, it had to be the human clan. After advancing for a day, Night Sorrow arrived at a special area. It could be said that it was a canyon covered by the array formation. There were strong energy fluctuations in the canyon. Night Sorrow carried the space-splitting spear and advanced slowly. If there were energy fluctuations, it meant that there was a situation. He had to investigate it carefully. After advancing for a while, Night Sorrow saw a special scene. There was a big jade-green seal with a diameter of 10 feet. There was silver hair wrapped around it. There was a woman tied to the jade-green seal. The woman was kneeling on the ground. Her legs were pressed under the seal. Above her knees, her back was leaning against the seal. It was as if she was carrying the seal and couldn't move anymore. Zertzi the seal was constantly producing green light energy, tightly binding the woman to the seal. On the light energy, there were golden characters circulating. Night Sorrow recognized the characters. They were the characters of the human Tao scripture, the Book of Tao. The characters were circulating with energy restraints. What was going on? Night Sorrow was stunned. The woman was dressed in black armor. Part of her white hair was coiled on the ground while the other part was wrapped around the seal. She was resisting the light energy on the seal. 3,000 feet of white hair. Night Sorrow could tell the length of the silver hair that was coiled around the woman's body. He didn't go near this area because everything here was unknown. Haha. Motianji, we humans have arrived here first. This proves that the human race is prosperous. A voice sounded. It was filled with pride and excitement. Yen Wushuang, what's the point of him coming here? What can a piece of trash who isn't even an imperial emperor solve? The woman snorted. Then, her white hair floated up and flew towards Night Sorrow. Her speed was unparalleled, and there were energy blades that tore through space. The space-time domain spread out, and Night Sorrow retreated a bit. Night Sorrow did not dare to get close to the energy attack of the 3,000 feet of white hair. However, he was filled with anger. He had worked hard to become an emperor, but he had still been called trash. Not only had he been looked down upon, but he had also been attacked. Attacking indiscriminately. Why didn't I crush you to death? Night Sorrow scolded when he reached a safe area. Young man, you scolded well. You can't help me now. Hurry up and call the human race's sect elder over. Kill her. Remember, I can only suppress her for 3 days at most. The voice that couldn't be seen said. You're a human? Night Sorrow asked. He wanted to confirm the situation. Chapter 1730. So it's Senior Unparalleled Sword Emperor. What do you want me to do now? Didn't she attack me? Then I'll kill her. After confirming their relationship, Night Sorrow decided to think of a way to kill this heavenly concubine. Haha. An ant dares to boast shamelessly. Even if I don't fight back, do you think you can kill me? Yen Wushuang, you said you can at most suppress me for 3 more days. However, I'll tell you that tonight is the night I, Mo Tianji, will be free. The black-armored white-haired woman laughed loudly. Following her laughter, the jade-green seal shook. Night Sorrow's expression changed. The clone in the Heaven's Sealing Hall sent someone to Datura and asked him to find Lin Xian. Hurry and inform them. Yen Wushuang's voice was somewhat anxious. Junior was exiled. Because my cultivation isn't enough, I can't withstand the Nirvana tide. Therefore, I can't return. However, another clone has already contacted them. However, there isn't enough time. Also, my main body is rushing over. Senior, let's think of a way to kill her first. Night Sorrow said. I can't kill her. She is one of the 3 giants of the devil-winged race. Even at my peak, I could only suppress her. Right now, my soul power is barely enough to use the human emperor's seal to control her. Currently, I'm burning my soul power. At most, I can last for 3 more days. Yen Wushuang's words were somewhat powerless. Senior, is there no other way? Although I'm unwilling, I'm a human. Even if my clone is destroyed, I have to kill her. Night Sorrow knew the human emperor's seal was suppressing a giant of the devil-winged race and made a decision. Human emperor's seal can't be used without a 9-star emperor. In other words, a peak emperor's cultivation. You can't help me. You can't even break her defense by attacking her. Hurry and leave. Inform the human race to prepare for war. This is the underground cavern. She came here to trigger the heaven desolate earthly fiendish aura in the underground cavern and cancel out the Nirvana ocean's tide. When that happens, this entire region will be destroyed and there won't be a single living being left. Furthermore, without the Nirvana tide, it will be difficult for the human race to stop the devil-winged race. Sigh. Yen Wushuang's words were a bit hurried, and in the end, he let out a sigh. Originally, he thought that Yi Shang was a human tribe cultivator and would be followed by a human tribe patriarch. Who would have thought that Yi Shang was a cultivator who had been exiled by Tianhuang City? Is there no other way? Was nirvana desolate earthly fiendish aura, earthly fiendish aura, earthly fiendish aura? If you want to kill her now, you must have the cultivation of a rank 9 emperor or the power of a human emperor. Leave quickly. Before my soul power runs out, I will severely injure her, Yan Wushuang said. ID most I5 new D chapter equals previous V, the power of the human sovereign. Yan Wushuang, stop dreaming. There have been bodies of merit and saints of merit in the human race, but that's all in the past. When I go out, I'll make the human race bleed. Anyone who dares to resist will be killed. In the future, the human race will be our devil-winged race's food. Mo Tianji laughed loudly because she was about to escape. Shut up. Why are you talking so much nonsense? You laugh like a wolf. Is it nice? Senior Yan, what is the human emperor's power that you mentioned? Is it related to the merit body? Night Sorrow reprimanded Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji, who was laughing, felt like someone stepped on her neck because Night Sorrow's scolding was rather harsh. The merit body is the power recognized by the heavenly Tao. The merit body of the human merit monarch has another name, which is human emperor's power. Yan Wushuang explained. Mo Tianji laughed. Her 3,000 feet long white hair fluttered in the wind. She had been suppressed by Yan Wushuang's human emperor's seal for countless years. She was about to escape. Night Sorrow also raised his head and laughed. For him, this was a glimmer of hope. He had the merit body. Even if it wasn't at the merit emperor's level, it was more than the merit body. Human ant, what are you laughing about? Mo Tianji stopped laughing because Night Sorrow's laughter made her hair stand on end. Then what are you laughing about? Night Sorrow stopped laughing and looked at Mo Tianji. I'm about to escape. After I recover, it will be the end of the human race. Mo Tianji's words were filled with killing intent. Then I'll answer you now. What am I laughing about? I'm laughing at you. Stop dreaming. Now you can experience what it means by extreme joy begets sorrow. Senior Yan, although I'm not the merit body, I still have the merit body of a great perfection half-sovereign. Even if I can't kill her, it shouldn't be a problem to trick her, right? Night Sorrow stopped the operation of his leakless true body. Then, he activated the merit body and the light of merit from his divine sea. Haha. Mo Tianji, do you know what it means to be prosperous? We've resisted for close to 2 epochs and no outsider has come. The one who came is a human, and a merit body half-sovereign at that. Just admit that you're unlucky. This time, it was Yan Wushuang's turn to laugh. This change in attitude was too sudden. Listening to her laughter, she wants to keep the human race in captivity? Let's kill her now. Senior, what do you want me to do? Night Sorrow looked at the human emperor's seal and asked. Easy. She's on par with me now. The only difference is that I need to burn my soul force. When we fight later, seize the opportunity to get close to the human emperor's seal and pour your merit body into it. I'll use the merit fire to burn this vicious person to death. Yan Wushuang said. You two bastards are dreaming. Mo Tianji furiously roared. At this moment, the human emperor's seal erupted with a dark green radiance. The energy threads constantly tightened around Mo Tianji, wanting to tear her body apart. Mo Tianji couldn't move her body. She could only use her 3,000 feet long white hair to resist the energy from the human emperor's seal. The sound of energy explosions constantly resounded. Night Sorrow made his move. He couldn't get close to the human emperor's seal, so he had to think of a way. He waved his space splitter spear and pierced through the spatial barrier. Normally, Night Sorrow couldn't enter the spatial barrier inside the unparalleled formation because the formation had strengthened the spatial barrier. But now, he could. You guys have fun. I'm leaving. Night Sorrow's body flashed and entered the spatial turbulence. Then, he charged into the distance. Haha. Yan Wushuang, your human brat ran away. What a joke. Mo Tianji laughed again because this was a joke to her. Yan Wushuang also laughed. He found it funny that Mo Tianji looked down on Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow wouldn't leave. He didn't understand Night Sorrow. He trusted the merit demi-sovereign. He knew how difficult it was to become a virtuous saint, let alone a virtuous half-emperor who had surpassed the virtuous grand sage and the virtuous heavenly monarch. He definitely wouldn't let the human race down. He attacked crazily, trying to find a chance for Yi Shang to close in. You're tuning into the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.